Will you do this, bro? It's
Dude,
such a sick hobby to have.
I really appreciate you saying that. It's been a fun one. You know what I mean? Like, I just think people are interesting.
Yeah, well, we have some interesting people around here.
Guaranteed.
like we have some crazy people around here.
I mean, there's probably interesting people everywhere, but
for sure.
It's just different when you know.
We got some kooks here, though.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like you just said it. Like when you know them, it's just a little like different. Like I kind of know you guys, and you guys kind of know me. So like,
no, definitely
having you guys come on the podcast, it's like, oh shit, like you guys are coming on the fucking podcast. You know,
I'm so ready. I'm all about it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you're 1 grade level above me.
Yes.
I'm 1 grade level above you, or 2 grade levels.
One. Nice.
Okay, so we're all separated by 1.
We should have sat in order, like ascending order.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait, how the fuck did you guys become friends?
So back in high school, how did we become friends in high school? Like originally?
I think probably like a party or something.
It was Hannah and Nikita, huh?
I think so.
Yeah, we became friends through them. And we hung out in high school a lot. We'd always go to like the weird parties together. Like we were the only two that were down to send it to like the really weird parties that like nobody else was coming to. Yeah, like the weird we would go to bonfires. We would like drive past the highway by Cayucas and see a bonfire, and we're like, oh, we probably know those people. Let's go. Get down, realize we don't know anybody there, but just go anyway. And like I'd end up at weird parties in St. Louis and just see Grace there. We'd be like, what's up? But we didn't really talk after high school much until recently.
Yeah.
And then
I think we kind of both went
our
different paths.
Yeah, but then we ran into each other at Frog and Peach one night. Was it your birthday?
Yeah, it was my birthday.
It was your birthday.
My 21st, yeah.
She walks into the bar and I'm pretty shit-canned. And I'm like, Grace? And you're like, hello? And then we just immediately started hanging out again. And it's been really nice reconnecting. It's been super fun. Yeah, such a vibe.
When was your birthday?
August last year. So I turned 21 during COVID.
Okay.
Awful.
Yeah, it was shitty. It was so shitty.
Did you go downtown that night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was only like a few bars open. I think everything closed like probably, what time was that? Like 11:30? The bars probably closed at like 10 or 11:30.
Everything was closing super early there for a minute, like midnight at the latest, I think.
I think it was before like everything like actually shut down. Like shut down.
Yeah, I think it was like that period when everything reopened a little bit.
Okay.
Like in summer when like there was like the first shutdown, everything was like, everyone's like, oh, we're gonna die. And then everything kind of reopened.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
And then reclosed again. I don't know, somewhere.
It's been a long year.
Yeah, it was fun though. Good stuff.
Are you guys both living in SLO right now?
I am. I live right downtown, which I love.
You live downtown? Where you live?
I live in Atascadero.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's a
vibe. When I knew you guys in high school a little bit, you were not living in SLO. You were not living in Atascadero?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay.
We both lived in Moore Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you lived on, what was that? The D word? What was that? D
Damar.
Street? Damar, yeah. That's the only reason I even know that street name.
Is that like North Moore Bay?
Yeah, it's like
a bougie
kind
town.
of near Cayucas.
Yeah.
Kind of near Cayucas.
I lived over by the Domino's Pizza.
By like Hannah, Nikita.
Down the street. Growing up, I was on the same street as Hannah and Nikita. So we were always like childhood friends, which was super cool. And then in high school, it was always super fun because like I'd roll home from like whatever I'm doing at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and they'd always be out on the street like chilling. I'd just like pull up and be like, "What's going on, guys? Are we hanging out or what?" Yeah, it was chill. Yeah, super fun place to grow up. I do love SLO though. This is the first time I've lived in San Luis and not like Moore Bay or Los Osos or Cayucas, and it's far superior.
Yeah,
it is amazing.
Really?
Oh, I love it so much.
Why?
Yeah. Since living downtown, like honestly, my life has improved tenfold, like in every aspect. I am the happiest I am that I've ever been.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm so serious.
Dude,
like,
that's good.
At the beginning of COVID, good. I still lived in Los Osos. I lived with like all the guys. It was fun. I lived with like Raymond and Cody and everyone. It was super fun. This kid Kevin, and Lawrence, and it was a good time. Like I enjoyed it, but it was like quiet, you know, because you're in Los Osos. All there really is to do is like go to Sweet Springs, which was divey. But here in SLO, there's just so much more going on, and I'm right next to where I work, so I can just walk to work. I actually ride my bird scooter to work.
What's a bird scooter?
A bird scooter, like those scooters you rent in San Diego and like LA and stuff. I bought one on Walmart.com. My coworker actually bought it, and I bought it off her for $300 even. And that was the best $300 I've spent in a long time, dude. I'll be whipping that bird like downtown. Fly. Dude, when you're drunk and you're just like, like it's super fun.
Do you have to like charge it, and are there charging ports outside of your work?
You charge it at home. It has like a laptop charger. You just plug that bad boy in, and it charges in like 2 hours. The battery lasts for 15 miles. It goes like 15 miles per hour.
That's solid.
Oh yeah, I charge it like once or twice a week. It's a vibe, dude.
Yeah, I love those things. My coworkers have them too.
They're so fun. I just stopped bringing it to the bars because like random people would always come up and be like, "Oh, scooter, like what's up, dude?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's my scooter." Like, yeah, but it's fun for sure.
Where do you even park it when you go downtown? Like you have to lock that up.
I don't like ride it to the bars because it's a pain in the ass. So I'll ride it to work usually, and then I'll just like put it in the back, and then after work, I used to like take it to the bar with me. Like I'll just take it and I'll just like set it down in the corner at the bar, and just like I used to have like a bike lock, but that was like impractical. So usually I'll just like throw like a shirt or something over it so someone knows it's like taken. But now I'll just like leave it at work, and just if I'm going downtown, I'm not gonna mess with it. I just like come back the next day and pick it up. But it's fun. If I'm going downtown though, I just walk. I'm like an 8-minute walk from all the bars and stuff, so it's like I'm not gonna save the 5 minutes just to deal with the scooter. But yeah, it's a fun time though.
And you're living with one roommate?
I am, yeah, one roommate and a cat.
And a cat?
And a cat, which is super fun. I also have a fish tank, which is chill.
Is there fishes in it?
There's shrimps in it. I have pet shrimp. Yeah, pet shrimp.
No.
I have pet shrimp, dude. They're cherry shrimp. They're about an inch long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have probably about 20 of them in there. I'd started off because I got a betta fish. And because I just wanted the fish, you know, I wanted like a pet, but like a cat or a dog's like a big commitment. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll get a fish tank. So I had a betta. And one day I like wake up and the sun's like shining in the fish tank, and there's like all these little things like moving on the glass. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what is going on? And so I'm like scoping it, and I like start Googling it, and there are like these little plankton that form in like freshwater fish tanks. And I'm like, dude, that's sick. And so I started getting into like crustaceans, and I'm like, dude, shrimp. Like shrimp are so easy to care for. So I rolled down to the fish store in SLO and like got a bunch of shrimp. I got 7 shrimp originally, and I named them after the actors that played the original Avengers. Because I was like, why not? And those things reproduce like rabbits, and now I have like 20-some shrimp in there. All the fish died, it's just shrimp. But if you put your hand in, the shrimp will come up and like eat shit off your fingernails. Like it's super cool, dude. Yeah, shrimp are fun.
Dude, they're related to each other, and they're all fucking...
Dude, they're on like Gen 6 or 7 now, bro. Like that's the most inbred species of shrimp. Like I'm waiting for mutations to show up. Like, oh my god, crazy.
And then are you living with like roommates where you're living in a town?
So I live by myself, but I rent from my parents, yeah.
Okay.
So I rent from my parents. They have this, or my stepdad has this like 10-acre land and has a ranch on it. So I rent from him. I get a really, really good deal, which is super nice. Yeah. So like I wanted to take advantage of that when I could. So yeah, but I live by myself, and then I have, I think like 4 other people live on that property that we rent to. So yeah, it's nice.
Are you stoked living by yourself?
Honestly, yeah, but no. I feel like I would love to have a roommate, especially somewhere like, because the place that I live at right now is so shitty. Like it's so hard to get Wi-Fi out there. The service sucks. I don't have a stove. I don't have any of that. Like it's a small ass little apartment, and it's just like there's no like AC. There's no heater. It's literally like I have a microwave. I have a hot plate, and then I have an air fryer. And then that's it.
Dude, air fryers are the shit, though.
Good.
Air fryers are mint.
So
love a good air fryer.
For that reason, no, I don't really like kind of living out there, and I would much rather live in like a well-equipped house with roommates. But it's nice sometimes, like nice peace and quiet, and then whenever I want to be by myself, I can. So
I feel like you rolling in here with like a lot of black on and like black hair. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. You live by yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you look like you enjoy living by yourself, unless I'm tripping.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun, but it would be nice to have some roommates sometimes.
Definitely.
And even just having your own little pad, you're on your own schedule. You don't have to like worry about like other people. Like it's your own domain, and you get to trick it out, customize it, whatever. So like living alone, I want to do that at some point. Not my whole life, but at some point, I think that'd be fun to live alone for like 6 months.
It's nice to have your privacy and like control over your domain for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
But it's so expensive at the same time. Like
really,
I'm sure if like anybody else was living on their own and rented from just like a regular landlord, it's like $1,000. Like $1,000. The lowest thing I could find in Atascadero or Paso right now is like $1,000, and it goes up from there just for like a 1-bedroom. It sucks.
Would you ever move into SLO and like live with people?
Probably not.
You like living...
I love Atascadero. I love Atascadero. I love Paso.
Damn, North County. Okay, shit.
It's fun. The restaurant scene's nice up there.
Yeah.
I feel like they have a much higher quality restaurant scene than we have here. We have some good places for sure, but they just have like a higher like standard of restaurants up there. I think
it's so small too. So it's kind of like Morro Bay. Like everyone kind of knows each other. Everyone's kind of close with each other. So it's nice.
My homie Taj lives in Atascadero.
He works at Taste, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, how's he doing these days?
Dude, Taj is thriving. Shout out Taj right now.
Good.
He's in Joshua Tree camping with
that's
like
awesome.
some people. Yeah,
that's awesome.
No, he's thriving. I visited him at work a couple weeks ago. And I think he's moving in. I live with Evan Weisberg and Vince Molina. Yeah. Vince is moving to San Francisco, and then I think Taj is coming and taking Vince's spot.
Oh hell yeah!
So,
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like
That's
living
super
with
nice.
Taj. Yeah, if everything goes through, like obviously I don't know. It's April, so there's.
I've been stoked running into you guys more often. It's super nice. It came out of nowhere. Like I've been living downtown for almost a year now. And, you know, like, every now and then you'll run into someone you grew up with around here. But for the last, like, 2 or 3 months, it's like every time I go to the Mark, it's a high school reunion.
Everybody.
It's like a full high school reunion every time I walk into the Mark, dude. It's kind of great. Sometimes I'm like, hey, guys, like, what's up? But usually I'm like, yeah, it's chill. Like, when I see you guys, I'm like, fuck yeah. What's up, man? How's it going?
Okay, I remember you... And this person, I don't know what the fuck happened to them, but you used to kick with Lucas.
I did. I used to kick with Lucas, yeah.
Where is he?
He went off, dude. I think he lives in, like, Washington, D.C. now. I think, He like, pursued a career in, like, economics. Yeah, he did.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, I think he went and pursued, like, a career in economics. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
You guys aren't on that same level anymore.
No.
Like, you guys are you guys friends?
I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Damn.
There was always, like, a bit of, like, a different level of personality, you know? Like, no hate or anything.
Yeah.
Just there was an incompatibility in that friendship, I think, in some ways. Like, there were times when it was awesome, and then there were times when I felt like I wasn't able to reach my full potential as a person in certain ways. And so, you know, it was one of those things, like, when life separates you, you just kind of let life separate you.
Yeah.
But, like, I hope he's doing well. I wish him the best for sure. I think he actually is pretty successful. The last I heard, he was getting, like, a really good economics job that's, like, actually pretty substantial. So
he's really fucking smart.
Oh, he's really smart.
He's so smart.
Yeah, I know. He is built for a mathematical career like that, so I think he's going to do fantastic. So I hope he's doing well. But, yeah, last I heard he was moving to Washington, D.C., so I think he's out there now. I haven't seen him in a long time.
He definitely... belongs in like a big spinny like office chair with like armrests.
Oh, 100%. He would
like,
thrive
just
there.
Like being jacked on coffee.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories with him though was way back in the day. We were thinking about opening a dispensary together back before weed was like it had become so it had become legal.
Cards.
It was medically legal. I used to smoke a lot of weed. I don't smoke weed anymore, but I used to be a stoner. And at this time, like, we thought about opening a dispensary because the market was kind of in a flux where there were dispensaries, but they were medical only, and recreational was like approved but not actually active. Like, there was a whole thing. And so we were like, let's do this. Let's take this opportunity and start a business. So we did everything. We found a business license. We ran we did the paperwork. We did everything. And we really wanted to open a dispensary in Morro Bay. And Morro Bay, like, they weren't allowing dispensaries there because the city council was at the vote for allowing a recreational dispensary and to not allowing it was like one off. Like, they needed one more tie-breaking vote to be able to have a dispensary in Morro Bay. And I guess in certain situations, the mayor runs like a tie-breaking vote. So I literally was going to run for mayor. I walked into the city office with like a shitty suit that I found at the thrift store, like oversized, 7:30 in the morning. I go into Morro Bay's like city office and I'm like, hi. And the lady's like, hey, can I help you? And I was like, I'd like to run for mayor. And she's like, oh my God, Sharon, come look at this. This kid wants to run for mayor. Are you 18? I'm like, I'm 19. And she's like, oh my God, he's 19. Sharon, come here. They give me all the paperwork and everything. They get me all set up, like full meeting. I never got enough signatures on the petition to actually get on the ballot. And then we realized that opening a dispensary was actually a really issue. Like, finding supply was difficult. The whole thing was just like a big endeavor, and we were going to school at the same time. So we kind of nixed it. But it was a cool experience. So, like, setting up a business license, like, we actually got some really good experience on how to open a business on paper, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I can say I ran for mayor of a city. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. He gets stuff done, that's for sure. If anyone I've ever known in my life knows how to get stuff done, it is him for sure. He knows how to get stuff done.
What'd the second lady say to you when she came out?
Oh, she came out. She was a little nicer. She was like, oh, like, you want to run for mayor? That's great. Like, more young people should get into politics. And the first lady's just like, yeah, that's great. I'm just like, yeah, it is.
Damn,
That's cool. I got a free flash drive out of it because they gave me a flash drive with all the paperwork, and I I never turned it back in because it's a flash drive. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, 8 gigabyte flash drive. I'm going to keep it. I still use it.
Are you serious?
It still says 2016 election on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dead ass. But like Morbe's election, not that actual election.
Was the cannabis company called C4?
That was the one. Yeah, that was
Central
the one.
Coast Cannabis Co.
That was the one. I think somebody else picked up that name. I'm pretty sure there's actually, I don't know if they're still around. For a minute there, after we nixed it, we found out there was like another, I think he actually sold them the name for it. Or he gave it to them. I don't know like if we got money out of it or what the situation was, but I have like a vague memory of like me and him talking about somebody that approached us and like wanted to use our trademark for it because we got a trademark for it.
Yeah.
Like we got it trademarked and everything. We had it all, like all the paperwork done, and then obviously we nixed it. And I think another cannabis company that was planning on opening, and I think they are. Like, I don't know if they're still around. Yeah, in Morbe.
C4.
Yeah, I don't think it's around. I haven't heard it in a long time, so I'm pretty sure they either failed or they're somewhere else.
Well, because I know that
there is a dispensary now, though.
Well, yeah, it's Megan's, right? And
I'm not sure.
I think it was Megan's.
SLO. I don't know if Megan's has one in Morbe. There is one in Morbe. I don't know who it is though.
I think it was Megan's, and then they realized that it was a really shitty idea to do it in Morro Bay, and then they moved this up.
Oh,
because
that might be what
there's
happens.
way more older people living in Morro Bay than there is young people.
It's close to that, too, definitely. Shout out to Megan's though, dude. I remember buying from Megan's way back in the day, where like they were literally just another little tiny delivery. It was like Megan and like her husband or boyfriend or whatever, and like 2 other people, and like you'd order from Megan's, and like they'd show up with like a little basket, like dressed all cute. They'd be like, "Oh, what do you want to buy? Like this is everything I have." Like super cute, like smallest of businesses. And now they're banging. Now they're like the dispensary around here. I trimmed for them one summer. Me and Cody Berger one time. Cody got a job trimming for them in Los Osos, like doing weed trimming. And I went with him one time. He's like, "Hey bro, like, I'm going trimming today. Like, you want to come?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I have nothing else to do. Let's go trim." And so we get out there to their little farm. We're like helping them trim. And the crowd of people that was out there was so interesting. That was one of the weirdest experiences because you get out there and the age range was everyone from like our age. We were like probably 19 or 20 up to like 50. There's this one guy that had like his own like weed infused wine that he had made. And he poured me a glass of it and it tasted like shit, dude. I was like drinking it and I'm just like, oh man, that's good. It tastes delicious, bro. It tastes really good. It tasted terrible. It got me high as a fucking kite. I literally like we were leaving and I'm like, dude, I don't think I can drive, bro. I feel walls around me and there's no walls around me. And there's this other lady that was there that was so funny because this one lady that was there was literally, who's that chick from The Office? Like the older, kind of overweight one. Phyllis? I think it's Phyllis, right?
Phyllis, yeah.
Like the kind of awkward. Yeah, so this chick literally looked exactly like Phyllis from The Office. She was basically Phyllis. Like picture Phyllis from The Office. And she's out there trimming and we're all talking amongst ourselves. And I was like, so like, whatever your name is, I'm going to call her Phyllis anyway. I'm like, so like, Phyllis, do you smoke weed? And she's like, no, I've never smoked weed before, but both my sons do. And I just want to understand them better. So here I am. And we're all like, that is the most wholesome thing. You don't smoke weed, but you want to understand your sons better. So you're out here on a farm on a Tuesday trimming weed. That is amazing. And so some of the other people that were there convinced her to try a little hit of weed. And so she's like, well, I mean, you know, I'll try a little bit of weed. Why not? And they literally give her a dab, like a fat dab. Like she goes to hit the nail and this dude's literally got like a straight booger. And he's just like, and I'm just like, I look over and as this is happening and I'm like, and she's like, that tastes pretty good. And then she sits there and 20 minutes later, this girl's literally just like trimming weed, like just trimming weed. And I'm like, hey Phyllis, like how you feel? And she's like, I feel good. I'm like, nice, dude. She feels good. That was super funny.
That was
good stuff. That was a long time ago, though.
That was probably rolled rocking for her, right? Taking a dab is like your first thing.
I can't imagine, dude. Like that shakes me in my core. I would never. My first dab, I literally was like, I'll never smoke again. I did, but crazy. I don't smoke much more now, though. Honestly. Not like big on it these days. I'll take a little puff if I'm out with friends or something, but kind of like don't love weed anymore. Not a big fan.
I feel like you're a stoner, Grace.
I used to be, but I only really smoke when I'm super drunk. But I used to be a huge stoner in high school, but not anymore.
So you guys are both kind of onto different things.
Yeah, I hit a point where I was getting anxiety a lot when I'd smoke, and I get super paranoid, like the whole 9 yards of, you know, people who don't smoke typically. And like it was weird because for so long I did and it was fine, but at one point I just couldn't anymore. Like I would smoke and I'd be like, I feel terrible. I feel absolutely terrible. And then when I broke up with my last girlfriend, I didn't want to like overthink it. Like I knew if I smoked weed, I would just obsess over it and overthink it and like freak out. So I just stopped and then I just never went back. I've smoked like puffs here and there over the last like year and a half since then. The last time I got high though, I was at the bar and one of my friends had a dab pen and I was like kind of drunk and I was like, hey bro, like can I hit that dab pen? And so she gives me her dab pen, I take a fat puff of it, and like 10 minutes later I'm like paler than fucking paper and I'm like, guys, I gotta leave, I'm going home. Yes. And my friends are like, you good? I'm like, no, I'm not good. No. And I have my bird scooter, my like little bird scooter, and we're at Frog and Peach and I literally stand up and almost fall over and I'm literally hobbling out of the bar using my bird scooter as like a walker. Like I'm just making like 2 steps at a time, like leaning on this thing like a walker. I like make my way out the back gate, and there's a video of me that one of my friends took of me just like in the distance, like like hobbling on this scooter. And yeah, after that I was like, I'm never smoking weed again. I was like, that was terrible.
For me, it was when I had left high school. I went into the Air Force, and then so that was kind of like, okay, I need to stop doing that. And then I left, and I just haven't really like smoked since then because I get so anxious nowadays when I do, so it just really hasn't been my thing since then. So
yeah, I get anxious as fuck when I smoke now.
2 things. I feel like a lot of people forget that weed, like at its roots, really is a psychedelic. And I don't even mean like, oh shit, I'm seeing fucking purple squares floating across. No, I mean literally like weed can smack you and put you in a very uncomfortable paranoia of just, I don't feel okay right now. I can't be around 50 fucking people. I need to get the fuck out of here. Like I feel angst.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Second thing, you were in the fucking Air Force?
Yeah, so
I forget about that.
I left like right after high school, I think a couple months, like November after I graduated, I left, and then I went all through boot camp. Like I did everything. Like I learned how to shoot a gun. I learned how to assemble, disassemble, all that kind of shit. Like I went through, they call it beast. So like for a week and a half, you go out and you sleep in a bunch of tents, and like you sleep under this like fucking mosquito net. So in this little fuck, what are they called, the like bunker things under this mosquito net. And so I went through all that shit. It was so hard. I feel like there's a huge stigma with like women in the Air Force or women in the military in general, because it's like we're not physically like as capable as the men. So I feel like a lot of women get frowned upon for wanting to be in the military. And even being in the military, I saw a huge difference between how they treated the men and how they treated the women. And it was just insane. So I did that, and then like a couple months later, like after I graduated, I got kicked out because they found out from running my blood that I still had Molly in my system, like in my blood. So they ran my blood like right after graduation, so I got kicked out. And then I came back home, and yeah, I moved to Atascadero, and I've been living there ever since. So it was shitty. It was really shitty.
Yeah, I almost joined the army, and I went through the ASVAB test, and after that, I was like, "Fuck everything about this. I can't. I cannot." Like, yeah. No, I know what you mean though. When I went there, it was mostly guys. There were a couple girls, and even just in like the very early stages of processing, like just the testing, you can tell that there is a pretty widespread, like it's not everyone, of course, but there is a widespread stigma, like not against girls, but like at girls, you know.
Well, I feel like it is against girls because it's like, you know, girls are expected to go in and not be able to like, you know, like fly an airplane or like actually be in a combative situation. And I feel like, you know, like it's just so crazy.
There's water in that.
That's a cool.
Is that chilling?
That's chill, dude. Yeah. Dilute it a little bit. I think there's water in there. It helps it absorb faster because your body's like, oh, it's water, but it's actually wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, continue though.
I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, it's just like girls are expected to go into any, like, especially in the Air Force, like they call it the chair force for a reason, because all you really do, unless you're like in a combative job, is you sit behind a desk and you file paperwork, or you're a dental assistant, or like just all this, like a nurse or a doctor. Like it's just the Air Force versus all the other military branches is insane. I feel like there's definitely more girls.
It's the most hardcore one for sure.
Well, yeah, because you have to be smart as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And
so
it's definitely controversial. I would hazard to say girls tend to be a little smarter than guys in a lot of ways. Like most of the time. Yeah. Like a lot of guys I know are just straight up unga bungas, and like guys are just straight unga bunga. Not always, of course, but like kind of like a lot, and like girls usually aren't quite on that level. Obviously there's exceptions, but definitely it was the same thing in computer science. I'm a computer science major, and like I love working with computers, I love coding, but the classes, dude, oh my god, like no shame on any computer science majors watching it, but dude, you go into those classes and it'll be like 40 like nerdy, like nasty dudes with no social skills and like one girl, and guaranteed the first day of every class some guy's gonna be like, hey, are you supposed to be here? Are you sure this is the right class? Like those poor fucking girls in computer science, really probably any STEM major, but especially computer science, they get the brunt of it, dude. Like I've never entered a computer science class that had a girl or a couple girls in it and not seen them catch some shit for it, which sucks, but yeah, it definitely happens. It's awful.
What was it like doing... So wait, how long were you like applying to be in the Air Force? Were you in the Air Force, or were you just still going through like the training, the mechanics to like be officially a part of it?
So I think like November 17th, I shipped out to Texas, and I was in boot camp. I think it's like 3 months long, and then I think I was there, like I graduated, and then I was there for like a month. And then going back to the women versus the men thing, like there was a guy who literally was gonna get kicked out for the exact same reason as me, and he didn't. And it was literally the exact same thing. They found Molly in his system, and they decided, oh, you know, like he's gonna become a fucking parachuter or a pilot, or you know. So it was like, oh well, we need him, but it's like, okay, you know, like
that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Really shows like the gender disparity.
How, like, okay, give me a time frame on this. Is this November 2020?
November
2019. Was this 6 months ago?
It was November 2017.
Snap. So this is going on 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was 4 years ago, yeah.
You hopped right on that after high school, huh? You were just like...
Yeah.
How, like, when was the last time you did Molly before you got that blood test? I thought ecstasy is like 2 or 3 days and then it's out.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I think it stays in your system for like 2-3 months. Your blood, at least, I think. I don't know. Ooh. Somehow they found drugs in my system, and
from high school.
Yeah,
you were doing ecstasy in high school.
Yeah.
How often?
I think I did ecstasy. Like I did a lot with. And
were you not?
Was I not?
Were you not?
No.
What?
Were you?
Yeah.
Dude,
not like a lot. I do it more now, probably.
Bro.
Dude.
How many times have you guys done Molly?
I've probably done it like 8 or 9 times.
I hadn't done it that much in high school. I did it twice in high school just to see what it was like, but in the last 4 or 5 months, I've done it quite a bit more.
Damn.
Quite a bit more.
Damn,
but, you know, no regrets. It's been a good time.
Yeah.
No overdoses, no bad experiences, just nothing but love and fun, and for that, I love it.
Yeah.
Can't say I'd recommend it just because of, like, the lack of quality assurance.
Oh, in the next few days, like, after you come down from that shit, it's awful. It is awful.
I usually feel pretty okay. Like, I definitely, like, can't find my serotonin. I'm usually, like, texting my friends, like, hey, did I leave my serotonin at your house? But, you know, I don't feel terrible. Like, not great, not terrible. Cocaine is bad. I don't do cocaine anymore either. I stopped doing cocaine as well just because I've done it a couple times, and honestly, all that happens is my heart just races, and I feel like I just took like 16 shots of espresso, and the next day I feel like I got hit by a bus, and I'm like, why do people do this? Like, why do you want either of those feelings? I don't really get cocaine.
Yeah.
Molly I love. Molly's really the only drug that I actually do at all is Molly.
Remember the March Rager party you guys threw?
Oh my god.
So I had taken Molly that night, and then the next morning I had to work at 7 in the morning. So I went, I was still rolling balls, and then I got fired like a week later. Because she noticed that I was rolling balls, and I went into work, I could barely do shit. Like, it was so bad.
How long were you... When did you take the Molly?
I think I took the Molly, like... Well, I got there, like, a little bit after midnight, and then it got shut down.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
I'm so fucking sorry.
That party was insane.
Dude, was going... The thing is, like...
People still talk about that.
It wasn't even peaking yet. That's the fucked up thing. Like, dude, the people to blame for that is fucking Paso. The Paso
people. Always. Dude, the rivalry there was terrible. They used to slash our tires when we'd have bonfires, dude.
Are you serious?
Did that ever happen to you? Multiple times when we go to Cayugas, there was like 3 separate times that people's tires would get slashed at Toro having a bonfire. And it happened to me once. I don't know if it was Paso or Cambria or whatever, but there was one time I'm walking back up to my car after a bonfire, and I was only there for a few minutes. I didn't even really go to this bonfire. I like went to pick someone up or to drop something off. It doesn't even matter. I wasn't going to party. I was tired. I was like, I'm not going out tonight. I'm just going to stop by real fast. I get back up to my car, and I just hear this like hissing sound where everyone parks. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is that? Like,
damn.
What is that sound? I'm looking around, and I'm like, what is that sound? And I trace it to like my wheel, and I'm like, why is my wheel hissing? And then I'm like, oh, no fucking way, dude. And I put my hand next to my tire, and there's like air coming out, and I'm like, are you shitting me? And I go to all the other cars. All of them have air coming out of their tires.
I remember that.
And I go back down to the bonfire, and I'm like, yo, guys, somebody slashed all of our tires.
No.
And everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, and I go back up, and the worst part of it was I go, I put my spare on. That wasn't a big deal. The next day, it was the end of my senior year. The next day, we're going for the senior outing where they take us all to the ravine. And my dumbass, I'm like driving to school in the morning to go to the senior party. And I'm on the phone, and I'm like making a police report. Because I'm like, yeah, sorry, this one, I'm snitching. So I'm making this police report. I'm like, look, just so you guys know, my tire got slashed. Like, obviously, I have no idea who it is. But just in case, like, you have a suspect, would love to, like, you know, have something done about this. And as I'm on the phone, I get pulled over for talking on the phone. And as I pull over, I'm like, well, I'm already talking to a cop. I'm not going to hang up. And the cop comes up to my window, and she's like, are you kidding me? You're still on the phone right now? And I'm like, no, I swear, like, it's a cop. Like, I'm talking to you guys. And she's like, give me the phone. I hand the cop the phone, and she's like, who is this? And then she's like, oh, hey, like, what's up? How's it going? And she talks to me, and she's like, okay, well, cool. Glad you're actually talking. Okay, whatever. Hangs up, gives me my phone back. She's like, so you were talking to a cop, why? And I'm like, I was making a police report. She's like, well, was it an emergency? I was like, no, my tire got slashed last night, and I was just trying to report it in case anything happens and I can, like, you know, get compensation for it. And she's like, why'd you do it while you were driving? And I was like, I don't know, because I'm dumb. Like, it's a 5-minute drive. I'm like, I'm just going to get this out of the way real quick before I get to school. And she's like, okay, well, I kind of just have to give you a ticket just because that's just really stupid. So she gives me a ticket, and I'm like, can we hurry this up? I'm already late. We're supposed to leave for the senior outing like right now. And she's like, whatever, dude. So she like writes me a fucking like $200 ticket.
A $200 ticket?
Yeah, for talking on the phone. I was like,
to make calls.
Damn it, dude. Now I have to pay for a new tire and a ticket. It's like get there and I get on the bus, and I'm just pissed. I'm like, this is whack ass shit. It was so lame. Yeah,
dude.
It's garbage, dude. Oh my god.
Are you ready for an unnecessary flex right now? Mm-hmm. I feel like if I were you, I almost want to put money on it. I feel like I could have gotten out of it, and I don't know why, but I feel like I could have like.
I didn't attempt. I made no attempt to get out of it. I was just like
you gave zero effort.
Zero effort.
Like,
I was just like, okay.
Been like, bro, you could have fucking started blaming it on family members. My mom was screaming at me this morning. Like,
no, dude, I like
this fucking fixed. Like,
well, at that time I was so scared of police because like I'd be high all the time and shit, and like I didn't have any weed in my car at that moment, but I usually did, and so I was just like so terrified of police that any police interaction I had, I was just ready to yield 100% and say nothing and make no attempt to argue with them.
Damn.
So, because like, dude, no, I was so scared of police. Like, I wouldn't drive like high or anything. I do not condone any kind of high driving. Obviously not drunk driving, but especially not high driving because people think it's okay. I don't really think it's okay. But in high school, there were times I drive kind of high. Like, not to the point where I feel impaired, but enough to where, like, if I got pulled over and they're like, your eyes are red, I'd be like, oh my god, this is it, my life's over. So, like, I was just paranoid of police at all times. And so, yeah, at this moment, I was fine, but, like, still, she pulled me over and all that. Oh, also, I didn't have my license. That was why. That was the problem, too. She's like, can I see your license? And I go to open my center console, my wallet's not there, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know where my wallet is. I think it might be in my trunk if you want me to look for it. She's like, do you know the number? And I had the number memorized, so I told her the number. And like, usually if you don't have your license and you know your license plate number, they don't care as much. Okay. Like, usually, like, you're technically supposed to have it, but usually the reason they get pissed off is because it's a bitch for them to look you up by name and all that. But if you ever get caught not with your license and you have your license plate number memorized, they're usually way easier on you. If you're like, I don't have it, but I know the number, and you tell them the number and it checks out, they're usually like, all right, whatever, you're fine. Like, all my friends I know that have gotten in trouble for that and known the number, they don't even give them a ticket for it. They're just like, yeah, whatever, dude, just make sure you have it next time. But, yeah, but given that and the circumstances, I did not try to argue. I was just like, yeah, just give me the ticket. I just need to get to the ravine, dude. I'm trying to go swim. And I tell you what, dude, my ass was in the lazy river that entire day.
Just pondering.
Just literally just floating like, boom, boom. Like, good shit, though.
Damn, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's cool. That was so long ago. I didn't care. It's whatever. Like, it happens. You learn a lesson. I have more parking tickets now than anything else.
Dude, okay, I have a lot more Air Force questions for you. Like, I wanted to go into some, like, details.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really did want to go into some details. Yeah. So you left high school. doing ecstasy, decided to go into the military, wanted to go into the Air Force branch, got treated wrong for about 3 months. You were in this for like 3 months, and you ended up getting kicked out for having Molly, ecstasy, whatever you want to call it, in your blood system.
Yeah.
Why did you say you were getting treated wrong and like improperly? Like what, like give me some specific examples, some stories that happened where you're just like, oh my God, like this fucking bitch.
I think it was mainly because like we would have to take like tests and shit like that every week. So I think it was mainly because like, well, not even like just regular tests. We'd have to take like physical PTs. We'd have to do PT, and then we'd have to do in class. We'd take classes basically. Like you take classes while you're in the Air Force. Like you go to school pretty much.
Yeah.
So like every week or every 2 weeks you'd have to take a test. I wouldn't score the best on either like the physical part or like the actual testing part, like school wise. And I'd get a better grade than a lot of people, or I'd get the same grade as a lot of people, and they would call me out for it, or like just point it out, like it's only me. And it was so weird. It just was like, I don't even know. It was just like, can't like pinpoint any like specific thing, but it was mainly that is I got picked on the most. I don't know why. It was just like the weirdest, like, I think we had like 30 girls in our dorm, and it was like I was always the one getting called out or getting picked on, or like by the MTIs basically. So it was just weird. I personally, like, there were a lot of people who did whack shit that they should have gotten kicked out for. Like there was literally this girl who made a makeshift knife and was threatening to stab people with it, and was just causing problems. She'd get up at 3 a.m. She'd run around the dorms, and then she'd go through the emergency exit. She'd climb up to the roof, and she would just pick fights with people all the time. And she never got, like, she should have gotten kicked out, basically. Like, if you fucking make a makeshift knife and you're hiding it under your pillow and trying to stab people with it and threatening to stab people with it, like, you should automatically get kicked out for that. So I think they wanted to keep her on because I think they thought she was part of the FBI, because like a year before I had gone in, there was this huge case where a lot of the MTIs were taking girls to this place that they bought, like this house that they bought that was off base, and they were like sleeping with the girls so the girls could pass. Like the only reason why these girls were sleeping with them, with the MTIs and the instructors, was so they could
just
pass.
Go through the ranks
without having to do shit. So
that's smart.
It's
honestly.
super smart. No, it's really fucking smart.
I mean.
So there was just a huge scandal. Everyone got caught. A lot of people got fired. So I think they all thought that she's part of the FBI. So I think that's the only reason why they kept her on, was just to see if anyone would get in trouble for it. But it was just so weird. It was so, like, I don't know why I got picked on the most, but it was just so weird.
You felt like you were getting picked on.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I shouldn't say picked on, but I felt like I was getting called out for a lot of unnecessary bullshit that a lot of people...
Shit like that, okay. Mm-hmm. Damn, bro. Are you happy that you did not go that route?
Yeah, I'm super happy. I think I still am in contact with a lot of people that I was in the Air Force with, and they fucking hate their lives.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
damn.
they hate their lives. Either a lot of them, like, got out somehow, or like, because it has been 4 years, I guess, so a lot of their contracts kind of ended already, so I think a lot of them are kind of thankful for it. I don't think I know anybody who's still in the Air Force that I was in the Air Force with. I think everyone's gone now.
Damn.
So it's shitty.
Did you get that tattoo while in the Air Force?
No, I got this tattoo like 4 months ago.
Oh, so recently. Mm-hmm. Damn, what is that?
It's just vines and butterflies and then little stars.
That's why you said you like the vines in there. Mm. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I love vines. So, but yeah, it was just a crazy experience.
You would think that people in a male dominant region like the military, you think they would want to keep as many females in it as possible and not discriminate and not be douchebags and not like do any, you know what I mean? Like not make anybody feel unwelcome, because like at the end of the day, like those people being far away, being surrounded by dudes 24/7. I don't know about you guys, but me, I would want to look at the opposite sex 100%. And be like, hey, like at least I'm training with this person, and like there's light at the end of the tunnel, and like, oh, like look at that hot girl over there. Like we should be nice to her, so she wants to like kick it with us.
You would think.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's like a factor of intimidation too, because it's like if you see a super hot girl and she's like super high up, super smart, like has a great job that's in the military, I think a lot of guys are really intimidated by that, especially guys in the military, because I feel like they kind of look at that and they're like, what the hell, like
they get
like,
primal,
you know? Yeah, exactly. So I think it's an intimidation factor. And I cannot fucking speak. Intimidation factor.
Definitely. I feel like a lot of guys get intimidated by successful women.
Yeah.
Like mostly insecure guys, I think. I think it definitely comes into like toxic masculinity a lot. But I've definitely seen guys that just get like so just like whenever like there's a successful woman above them, you know?
Yeah.
And it's garbage, but that also shows you who they are, I guess. But that definitely is a thing for sure.
Does toxic masculinity mean that you turn a situation toxic because you're being so masculine?
No, okay, so toxic masculinity is basically just that whole image. The way I understand it is it's basically that whole image of how men just have to be like so just macho, like all the time, like so for me personally, I don't always get along super well with other dudes, because like a lot of dudes will just come up and they'll just be like, what's up, bro, like you like football, like let's go, dude, like like what's going on, dude, like you fucked some chicks last week or what? Like I fucking hate men like that, and it's so common, like so many men will be that way. I think it's just like the whole idea of men having to think like they're like men, you know, like they got to be like all hard all the time, they can't show any emotions, they have to be better than the next guy, they can't be bested by a woman, they can't be bested by another man. They just have to be like alpha all the time, because so many guys have that mindset.
Well, I think for some men, it's kind of like a culture thing. Like in a lot of cultures, a lot of men are definitely supposed to be seen as like this macho man, and they're supposed to be like the...
I mean, even in our own culture, but
yeah,
I just kind of think it's dumb. Like, I feel like you should, as a man, just as a woman, just as a human, you should be able to feel your emotions, be who you are. If someone doesn't like you, fuck them. If you're not as good as someone else at something, okay. But I feel like a lot of guys just can't handle that. They just have to be dominant all the time, you know? And so, like, in that context, like, I just feel the toxic masculinity comes in because once they're bested by a woman at something, they just feel emasculated. And they're all like, oh, I'm not enough of a man now. And they get all butthurt about it and act out. When it's like, really, it's like, don't make it about gender like that. Like, this person is better than you at this thing. Okay, you're probably better than them at a lot of other things. Like, just take it and run with it. Like, who cares? But, like, the whole toxic masculinity is just, like frats, for example. There's so much of that in frats, like, where guys are just like, oh, bro, like, go hard, like, like, rather than, like, oh, is this safe? Is this fun? Am I having a good time? It's just about going harder, being better than the next dude. And, like, that just permeates our culture so much. And there's better examples, I'm sure, too, but I'm not a fan of the whole toxic masculinity thing. At all. Anyone is. Some dudes are, apparently, but, yeah. I agree. I think once you recognize it, you're probably aware that it's not a good thing, but... It's a common thing, you know. Like, you'll notice it just with guys in general so often. Like some guy, you know, at the bar. Like, say you're just talking to a girl, and some guy at the bar comes up and talks to said girl instead of being like, "Oh, cool, like this person's talking to this person." Yeah, send it for sure. Got it. Yeah, nature calls.
I'm like, no, I'm going outside of this door.
Nice, dude.
I can hear you guys.
Water those plants, bro. Yeah, brother. Yeah, I know, but, like, you know, it's just, you'll be talking at the bar and some guy comes up and they're just like, what's up, man? Like, you trying to talk to this girl? Like, I'm talking to this girl, and it's, like, not even his girlfriend. Yeah. It's, like, chill, bro. Like, just anything. Even, like, an interaction where it's, like, you're walking down the hallway and you, like, bump into someone and the dude's like, what's up, man? Like, you gonna bump into me like that? It's like, no, dude, this guy just bumped into you. Like, chill. Like, so many guys just feel the need to just act out like that. But not all guys, obviously. Like, obviously not all guys at all. But a lot of guys. It's common.
I feel like those are just mainly the guys who are the most insecure about themselves.
Oh, I think so. I think that's usually a huge sign of insecurity. Like, I think usually if you're at the point where you're acting like that and you feel like you need to be a man that bad, like, that definitely, like, is an insecurity thing. And, like, I understand, like, the traditional societal thing of being a man where it's like, okay, you want to, like, be successful, have your shit together and all that. Like, that's fine. But, like, that doesn't need to be tied to being a man. That just needs to be tied to being, like, person with your shit together, and people get it conflated, you know, like real easy.
I agree.
Definitely. Ooh, the Andre.
I
would love some Andre.
I would love some.
I love it. Let me just kill this Reds here.
God, chugging.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people, I feel like, don't realize that for the people that want to be like I guess dominant and be like like, oh hey, like by the way guys, like I am a male or I am a man, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of people don't realize you can do that without like saying or doing anything.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean? Like if in my eyes, I think you should try and be the dopest motherfucker as possible.
Definitely.
And that involves being nice to your people, being chill, being like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you had $1 billion in your bank account, you don't need to say anything or do anything. Like, and at the end of the day, like, let people talk shit to you. Let people be that person and be extremely aggressive. At the end of the day, you know where your money is and you know where you stand and what you have to do and like how free-willed your life can be because like you've
just take pride in that.
You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be aggressive at all.
No.
And you can be like fucking gnarly as fuck.
So many people just wake up and choose violence like that though.
But I also think that has to do with like a lot of those people, I feel like they haven't like actually found themselves yet. Like you need to do a little bit of soul searching.
Oh yeah.
Before, especially for men, I feel like, especially men that act
men
like that, like that, they don't actually know who they are.
Not at all.
Like they want to put on this act and they want to put on this front for everyone. Like they don't know who they actually are, and I think a lot of guys like that just need to do some searching.
I agree.
And just need to figure out who the fuck they are before
talking to people like that. That applies specifically to that story I mentioned earlier before we started filming about the guy that pointed the gun at us at the bar. I'm like, that is prime example.
Like,
that is the prime example of somebody who doesn't have any kind of masculinity. I'm like, dude, like true masculinity. He is all toxic. No true like understanding of who they are. Like, if you're doing that, like you literally, I'm sorry, like you don't, like you're not hard. You're not cool. You look ridiculous.
It's like those guys
like,
that like...
We're not gangsters. We're normal people that are having a drink at the bar. So I gotta tell the story. This is no context. I have to tell the story.
It sounds crazy.
So basically, and I'm not naming any names, but essentially what happened, this was like probably a couple months back. Me and some friends go down to the Mark. This was still when everything was outside only. So all the places downtown have the parklets out on the street. Like, and so we go out with some friends. There's probably like 8 or 9, maybe 10 of us. We're all sitting there hanging out. And one of our friends has like this roommate who never comes around. We like honestly would make jokes that she doesn't even exist because she's always with like her boyfriend. And so we never like see her, whatever, don't really care. Anyway, so she's coming to hang out with us and she calls me and she's like, hey, my roommate came home and she's actually down to hang out. Like, can I bring her? And we're like, fuck yeah, bring her. Totally. So we're all hanging out downtown, right along the street. And our friend and her roommate show up. They're there for about 4. We introduce ourselves. We're like, hey, what's up? We're there for 4 or 5 minutes. And her roommate starts kind of freaking out, like frantically texting. And she's like, oh my God, like my boyfriend's pissed. Like he doesn't like want to hang out with people and he's not here. Like he wants me to hang out with him, like whatever. He's coming. So she gets up and goes and talks to him on the phone. And our friend whose roommate that is, like goes off and talks to her. We're all just like, whatever, doing our thing, vibing. Like I'm pretty shithouse at this point. Like I'm drunk, I'm vibing. We're all vibing. We're doing our thing. A few minutes later, I didn't notice this because I'm facing away from the street, but my friends who are facing the street, one of them's like, dude, what is that guy doing? Like, there's like this car, like, just stops in the middle of the road. And we all turn around, and this car is stopped in the middle of Higuera. Just in the middle, just not pulled over, just stopped. And this guy has his window down. He's just like mad dogging the shit out of us. And we're like, no. Fuck? And so we're like, hey man, like, do you need something? Like, who are you? Like, hello? And he's just staring at us. And like, to be fair, we are the only party in the patio. Like, we're the only people out there. We're pretty much the only people in the bar. This was like Tuesday or something. And we're just like, dude, what is going on? Like, this guy, hello? Like, can we help you at all? And he's just staring at us, saying nothing. And so a couple of my friends start being like fucking stupid. And they're all like, just like making sounds at him and stuff. And this guy literally pulls out an Uzi, a full-on machine gun Uzi. I shit you not. Like the tiny little machine guns. He goes to pull out an Uzi, and the window's like halfway up. He's like trying to like squeeze it out the window, like get it out. And he starts waving this Uzi at us, and he's like, "You keep fucking smiling, like see what happens. Like where's my fucking girlfriend?" And we're all just like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And my friends are like, "Dude, is that a gun?" And I just start laughing, dude, because I'm shithouse, and I'm like, "This is absurd. Like this is absurd. This guy literally has an Uzi in the middle of Higuera because his girlfriend won't hang out with him." Like, and so I'm like trying to let him see me laugh because I'm not trying to like get a cat busted in my ass. So I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like, no way. Fuck, and we're all just like kind of freaked out, but kind of like there's no way this guy shoots us in the middle of Higuera because his girlfriend will hang out with him. Like, this is ridiculous. And so anyway, like, he's doing his thing. Like, he's just, like, waving it at us. And we'll all kind of get quiet. We're all like, like, we don't know where your girlfriend is, dude. We don't even know who you are. And then she comes walking back. And he, like, yells at her. And he's all like, are you getting in the car? Like, what's going on? And she, like, walks past us. And he goes and, like, picks her up and drives off. And we're all just like, dude, did that really just happen? Like, that was a joke. And the bartender comes out. He's like, bro, what was that about? Like, did that guy just wave a gun at you guys? We're like, yeah. So, like, the bartender, like, calls the cops. And the cops come and talk to us about it. But that's, like, my point, though. I'm like, dude, like, how fucking insecure of a person do you have to be to pull a gun on so 10 toxic. Random strangers because your girlfriend isn't hanging out with you when she hangs out with you all day, every day? Well, like, maybe you guys had a fight. I don't know the situation. Whatever the situation may be.
That's just sad.
Even if you knew that she was at the bar, like, hooking up with a dude, which she was not, but even if that were the case, that still would be unacceptable. That's an illegal weapon, by the way. That's not even like a normal gun. That is an Uzi. That is completely legal in California. Like, you're literally risking going to prison because your butthurt, your girlfriend won't hang out with you. Like, that is the image of toxic masculinity. And I really hope I don't get shot for telling that story. I might. But, like, he might remember this. He might track my ass down. I hope he doesn't. But, like, I mean, honestly, I don't know him. I don't have any fault him. Like, obviously, he's got stuff to work out. Like, that's cool. But, God damn.
What the girlfriend's going through. It's like, damn.
Yeah, I haven't seen her since. I don't know what happened to her.
Just random people at a bar. Like,
yeah, I mean, as far as I know, they're still together. So, I mean, she probably didn't care that much. But
oh, God,
anyway, yeah, toxic masculinity, dude. Like, crazy.
It's like those guys who, like, flex the money on their Snapchat stories.
Oh, when you see, like, on Snapchat, they got, like, hundos out the ass. I'm just like, oh, wow, you're so cool.
Cool, dude.
Oh, my God, dude. People are so ridiculous with their flexes. I'm like, just flex your personality. Be yourself, dude. Just exist. It was funny because I met him once before that, and he actually seemed like a really cool guy.
Are you serious?
Like, I met him once before that. He seemed so chill. Like, he was cracking jokes. He was laid back. I would have taken him for more just, like, almost like a hippie kind of dude. Like, he was so calm.
What the
Like,
fuck?
he didn't look like somebody that would be like, oh, I'm hard, I have a gun. Like, he was not like that.
Yeah.
That was not the impression I got. Like, he just seemed so chill, and I was like, oh, like, he's cool. And, like, didn't think twice about it. And then, boom, next thing you know, I don't think he recognized me. I don't think he really, like, knew it was me. I think he just thought we were a bunch of randos. But either way, I'm like, damn, that is insane.
Unnecessary.
Beyond unnecessary, yeah. Crazy.
The thing is, like I'm a huge pro gun advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I usually am too. For the
I
most
like
part.
guns. I love guns.
Same.
I really do, and I believe everyone should have them for their own protection.
Yeah,
but there's like, once you start doing fucked up shit like that,
shit like that, I'm like,
that's
dude,
why guns get a bad rap. That's
exactly.
Why
I'm
guns
like, you're
rap.
making the problem worse.
This
like,
person shouldn't have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Too immature to have a gun. You don't point it at civilians that are doing nothing wrong.
No.
Like, you
don't
use a
flash it to
gun
look
when
good.
people are breaking into your home and you need to kill somebody.
Exactly.
That's when you use a gun, or somebody's about to rape you.
Yeah, like, something's going down
Yeah.
for sure. But, like, you don't just use it to flash to look hard. Like, I'm sorry, like, that just shows how weak you are. If you have to hang an Uzi out your car window to try to feel hard.
Uzi from a,
the black market. I'm sure it's not that hard.
You
to
can,
do,
yeah.
That's why people gotta go through those. Like, I get those background checks on shit like that, but you have to have an extensive background check. Like,
that doesn't matter. Background checks don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, if you did a background check on me, I feel like I could drive to Texas somewhere.
Definitely.
Meet a friend of a friend of a friend.
It's not hard to get stuff like that. I have friends that have AKs. Like, I have friends that build their own AR-15s. Like, it's really not hard to obtain that kind of thing if you really want to. But it's more about how you use it. It's like, dude.
It should just be, you need to get raised better, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, if you got raised better, you would understand this is wrong.
100%, yeah. It just boggles me how people think that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, how are you make it this far? And be like, yeah, that's a reasonable solution to that problem. Insane. But yeah, men, sometimes they're great. Usually, honestly. But that's anyone, I guess. There's equally as many people of other genders that are just as terrible. So,
Are you guys in relationships right now?
Yes.
I'm single as shit.
Single, taken.
I'm single as shit. Yeah. Your boyfriend's awesome. I love that man so much.
I know.
He's fantastic. Top tier. Absolutely top tier.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty single. I am living my single life. My last relationship ended about a year ago.
Was it good? Bad? Learn anything?
I mean, it ended, so it obviously wasn't fantastic, but I wouldn't label it as bad either. I think, it went on for about 2.5 years, and, there were times when it was great, and there were times when I just wasn't happy. And I absolutely wish her the best. Like, I hope she's doing fantastic. I think she is doing pretty well. Wish her all the best. Just the two of us together wasn't prime, It wasn't bad enough for me to one day just be like, fuck you, I'm out. It was just consistently enough that eventually I was like, I'm not happy here and I want to move on.
Do I know this person?
I think you met her once. I think you met her one time. Yeah, I think you met her once. I'm pretty sure you met her once. I don't know.
Okay.
She was like girlfriend I had for a couple years, like the last one. If you ever like met me with a girlfriend, it had to have been her.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think she was cool. Honestly, super fun at times. Other times, like not so much. But like honestly, I think there were things I did wrong in the relationship too. Just wasn't working out.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta know when to admit your own fault. Like there were times when I probably should have talked instead of just being upset and bottling it.
I feel like
but
everyone kind of goes through that.
Everyone does that, and like even if I had talked about
process.
it wouldn't have really changed anything. It would have still been an issue, and I still would have felt the same way in the end. But I will say, I think the main big good takeaway of it was, I learned how to actually have a nice, really good, long-term, healthy relationship, knowing someone whose family I know, knowing some really cool things about them, going on some good adventures. And the main negative takeaway was, in the time since me and her separated, I have learned so much more about myself. Because before I met her, for the previous several years, not to tell my whole life story, but, before I met her for several years, I had like a good friend who had a boyfriend who just was kind of just didn't treat me the best, kept me kind of bottled in a position where I couldn't really like explore who I was because she was my really good friend. And so by her having that boyfriend, there were times when I felt bottled down. Like he would do the whole toxic masculinity thing I mentioned earlier, where he just outfit on me all the time, where I'm like,
I fucking hate that.
Oh, you want to do this, want to do that. And he would just have to be in control of the plan at all times. He'd have to find a way to be power dominant in the most mundane situations.
What's mundane mean?
Like just like inconsequential, just boring, basic. Like
mundane
we'd be going
boring.
to mundane, yeah, like boring, like
okay.
just unnecessary, not unnecessary,
Just
like unimportant.
Day you guys are just hanging out.
Like we'd be going to the beach, and it wouldn't be a matter of like, hey guys, let's go to the beach. It'd be him being like, okay, we're picking you up at 4:15. We're going to the beach. We're gonna get a blanket. The blanket's gonna be laid out. We're gonna smoke 3 bowls exactly on the blanket. We're gonna have this for snacks, and we're leaving. Just shit like that. Like just there had to be such a power factor, and I was so over it. And so during the time when I knew those people, I met my last girlfriend. And, at first it was super cool. For a long time it was chill, but you get past that honeymoon phase and things kind of peter out. And, there were times when she was great, but there were a lot of times when I would be myself. Like I would say things that I thought were funny. I'd make jokes. Like I'd be exploring who I am, and she'd shut me down. She'd like reel me in. She'd be like, no, like don't be like that. Cause like, I'm not gonna lie, you don't know me super well. You know me pretty well. I'm pretty crazy. I'm wild. I like to send. I like to be fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I make some fucking crazy jokes.
Bro,
I say some crazy shit. Dude, cheers, bro. I say some crazy... Cheers, Grace. I say some crazy shit, and I like to be crazy, and she would not love that. So I'd, like, breach in that territory where I'm, like, on a sick one, and she would not like when I was on a sick one. And so for a long time, for those 2 years I was with her, I had to, like, tone myself down.
Yeah.
Retract who I was. And then on top of that, I wasn't really happy with what was going on in the relationship all the way, so I'd be just in a mood about that. So essentially the point I'm getting to is for a couple years there, I was very locked in. I was very much not knowing who I was. I was smoking a lot of weed. I was basically just pacifying myself, and I was just basically in an egg. And since that time, I've been able to just open and free up so much, Exactly. And it's so much in the last few months, especially since like meeting all of our friends in the last like 7 or 8 months. I have been just so much like just literally exploded. Like, people I've known since middle school have told me in the last few months, they're like, dude, Sterling, like, I have never seen you this much yourself, this happy and this free, and it makes me so happy, which is awesome. And I do feel great about it,
Your guys' friend group correct me if I'm wrong, but your guys' friend group seems lit.
Our friend group,
you know what I mean?
Fucking like, top tier, fantastic. The best people ever. It is amazing in every way.
So well, it's like everyone's so close.
We are so accepting too. We get new people that come in, and immediately we're like, "Get in here. We fucking love you. Tell us who you are. Let us love you."
Like what? 30 people.
There's like 30 people in our group chat, and we all participate. We all hang out in subgroups. They are the best people I have ever known. Like easily. Like I'm not gonna like discount my other friends I've had. Obviously, my friends I've had through my life are great people too, and I love them. And some of them are still around my life, which I'm happy for. But these people that me and Grace hang out with, and the reason we're even on this show together right now are these people, because we hang out with them all the time. And they have like I've never known such a large group of people that are so good. Like one of our friends put it so well the other day, because she was saying, she's like, dude, like I used to go on Instagram and see people like hang out in groups of like 20, and I'm like, how can you have this many close friends? Like that doesn't make any sense.
No,
until we all started hanging out, and now we get it. It's like you can have a lot of friends, but like there's just like everyone has their own individual personalities and relationships.
But then once you get together, it's like everyone's like
Exactly. And they're the best people.
Never any problems.
Never. Like, there's just nothing but absolute love, and it's fantastic. I've never known so many good people. Like, they build us up. Like, in the last few months since I've known them, they have really helped me just discover who I am. Like, this is gonna sound weird. I don't really dress casually with people. I like to dress up because I like to look good. Yeah. I like to look good most of the time. Like, right now I look ridiculously good because I just got off work managing. I don't usually dress like this. This is kind of overboard. I don't usually wear a dress shirt and a vest all the time. Some people would debate me on that. I don't do it all the time. I just got off work before coming here, so that's why I'm dressed like this. But I like to dress decent. I don't usually wear pajamas. Like, for example, if I'm going to a sleepover, I'm not usually going to bring pajamas. Like, I'll bring my jeans and stuff, and then when it's time to crash, like, I'll usually just, like, sleep in them or, like, maybe take my pants off and just crash on the couch.
Yeah.
But I'm not usually a person who will show up in pajamas. And, like, one of the closest moments I had with our friends was with, like, our friend Dana. I was talking to, I was like, you know, you are the first person to see me in pajamas in, like, a couple years besides, like, girlfriends I've had. Like, even my roommate, I was leaving the house in pajamas, and she's like, you're leaving in pajamas? Like, you don't ever wear pajamas. And I was like, I'm comfortable enough with these people. I don't feel judged. I'm going to wear pajamas. And she was like, what? Like, it's, like, they're just the best people.
Do you just not like pajamas? Like, is that...
No, it's like an insecurity thing. Like, I'm not, like... I don't think I'm, like, unattractive or out of shape aggressively or anything like that. It's just, like, in pajamas, I just feel grubby. Like, I just feel like I don't want to present myself like this, you know? Even if I know I'm not going to be judged, I still feel uncomfortable presenting myself in pajamas, except with these people. Because I'm like, I could literally show up dirty, like I looked like I slept under a highway overpass, and you guys would still love me and probably still cuddle with me. And you know what? For that, I'm comfortable. Yeah. They're the best people. We've had some crazy events. Those are the ones we were with when we got a gun pointed at us. Those are the ones we're with most of the time. It's fantastic.
Yeah, dude.
Do I know some of you guys' friend group?
You definitely know a few of them, probably. For sure. You definitely know several of them.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely. I would say you definitely know a few. I know you know Hayden for sure.
So
we hang out with Hayden all the time.
When Hayden said she knew you guys, I was like, dude,
I was ecstatic.
know these guys.
That was the day that last time I was at your house. We were hanging out at Creepy Tiki. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends later. I'm like, oh, that's cool, like for sure, dude. And she's like, yeah, they call themselves the Dirty Dungeon. And I was like, hold on. I was like, back the fuck up. They call themselves what now? And she's like, yeah, like this one dude goes by Laser. And I'm like, you shut the fuck up right now. I know Laser. Right. I know all of them. She's like, wait, you know them? I was like, I went to high school with them, dude. Let's go. Let's get there now. Oh, I was stoked. I think you've met a few others. Like, we came here with a few of them the other day. And like, you know, there's like 30 of us. So surely you know some of them just from living here. But they're just the best people. Like, the way I met them all was, I used to work. So before I worked at Flower House, where I work now, best job I've ever had in my life. In so many ways.
I do want to talk about Flower House.
Oh, Flower House is fantastic. Top tier. Yes, send it.
Do you guys all want to take a quick break?
Yeah, let's take a break. Yeah, pause it. Let's do it. Before we dive into the next topic.
Dude, you said, I remember before we, because I knew I really wanted to do a podcast with you before Grace even got mixed into the mix. I remember you were like, yo, like, let's do a podcast. I'll be one of your like funniest podcasts.
Dude, I hope. I was drunk and probably talking myself up, but I have some really funny stories to tell too. That I
oh my god, I have a hilarious story to tell.
There's some good stories. Funny fucking story.
Wait, I can't. Okay, I'm gonna go first. Okay, remember when Evan dated Jade?
Did they date?
They dated.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
Yes, they did. Okay.
I thought that was like friends with benefits type shit.
I don't know. She told me they were dating.
They weren't official. Okay. Guaranteed.
So after they kind of like ended things, she was so pissed off. And we went to his house, and when he was inside his house, we fucking saran wrapped his entire car.
That was you guys? Oh my god. I remember that was in Osas.
Yeah.
That was you guys? That's funny, dude. That's like...
I don't think I was there. I don't think I was there.
We went to a bonfire. I think you met up with us at the bonfire.
I think I met with you after that, yeah.
But we saran wrapped his entire car because she was so pissed off. It was me, Jade, and Nikita. I don't know. They're probably gonna get mad that I exposed this.
It's been years.
It's so fucking
Statute
funny
limitations
to me. Every single
out.
time I think of like, who the fuck saran wraps someone's car? Like, you have to be so pissed off at someone. Like, I don't know. I can't remember what happened.
But it's a harmless prank. It's just a bitch to get undone. It's not like dangerous or damaging though. You know, that's why it's awesome. Funny. Those are the best pranks. The ones that don't leave damage.
Like, it was pretty funny.
I remember people used to like Vaseline people's windshield wipers. And I'm like, that's fuck. That should be a felony, dude. That's like dangerous as shit.
Really?
Vaseline someone's windshield wiper. You put I've never done this, but people have that I know. You put Vaseline on someone's windshield wipers, and then when they're driving, they go to use their windshield wipers. It just greases your entire windshield. You can't see anything. I'm like, that should be a felony, bro. That's not a prank. That's like attempted murder. Yeah. Like, that is fucked up. Oh my god. Oh, I definitely got funny stories. I don't have that many on deck. I'm really bad about like telling shit on the spot. Prompted, amazing. On the spot, eh. But the ones I have on deck are pretty solid. The first one that comes to mind though is one of my favorite serving stories ever. I got a lot of good restaurant stories. Working in restaurants, you see some of the craziest shit out there, and I've got some really solid ones. But my favorite story to tell about restaurants, if anyone ever hits me at a party, they're like, tell me your best restaurant story. The one I always go to is this restaurant I used to work at a couple years ago, this place I worked at. There was one day my manager there was like chilling, you know, we're all hanging out, slow day, it was like Wednesday. And one of his buddies or like someone he knew was sitting at the bar getting shithoused, like drunk as fuck. And they like, he's just like belligerent. He's like full drunk. And they started getting in like a debate or a fight. I don't really know about what, but they started like getting at each other and they're actually like fighting. They're getting really pissed off. And it started escalating. Like they're getting really mad. And finally like they're standing up, they're yelling. And my manager's like tells him to leave. He's like, get the fuck out, like go. And so the dude starts walking out, and as he's walking out, he turns around and says some snarky shit. And my manager's holding a server tray, and from across like 10 feet, like me to the camera, this guy says some shit. My manager, Captain America, is this motherfucker with a server tray. Like, not even a frisbee, full Captain America. He eats the server tray at him, hits this dude in the face. This dude hits the ground. And me and the other two employees are just, I'm dead serious, bro. Like, it didn't knock him out or anything crazy like that. It just, like, the dude was already drunk and, like, duked him. Literally just Captain America's him. Funny. Dude goes down, and we're all just like, oh my God. And he gets up, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. And he's like, get the fuck out. And the dude, like, leaves. But, oh my God, dude. The Captain America server tray is one of the best things I've ever seen. And the other really good restaurant story I have was the first time I ever worked in a restaurant. I was like 16 probably, and I got a job at Off the Hook in Morbay when it was still a thing. And that place was crazy, dude. That place was owned by, there's this guy that owns a lot of the nice restaurants in Morbay. And as like a background story real fast, a little bit of like, you know, like prologue. This dude's like had a couple sons, and one of his sons like killed himself, allegedly, like jumped off the cliffs at Montana de Oro.
Fuck,
like, I don't know exactly the circumstances, but basically that happened. Anyway, so he was a super rich dude. His ex-wife was like super crazy and always coming after him for shit. So he basically bought her Off the Hook. Do you remember Off the Hook? It was like that bougie place down on the Embarcadero.
Yeah. No, I ate there a couple of times.
Yeah. So basically he bought her Off the Hook as a way to like pacify her. As like a restaurant, just be like, get off my fucking back, run this, whatever, take a restaurant. But she couldn't run it because she was crazy. So he'd come in all the time and help run it. So I worked there for a while. He'd come in every day and sit at the same table and say nothing to anyone. He was just like a depressed, quiet old man. Like whatever. I didn't think much of it.
But he was running it?
He was like doing the paperwork, like running the background. She'd be like commanding it, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, I never worked in a restaurant, so I don't know much about it. I came in one day to drop off a resume and all that, and they're like, oh, do you know how to bus? And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what that means. And like, she's like, do you know how to fill waters? Like, can you clean a table? And I'm like, yeah, totally. So I get this job. Like, I have no tray skills. I don't know how to use a server tray at this time. And they just send me. No training. They're like, send it. So I'm doing my thing. Worked there for like a couple days. Kind of hated it. They were just super rude, super mean. No POS, no computers in the whole system. It was all just handwritten tickets. Like all this. It was a big restaurant. Nice restaurant. Anyway, one night, I'm bussing this big table. Like this like 8 or 9 top gets up. All these water glasses, all this shit. So I fill up a tray. I'm trying to carry the tray and I drop it. Shattered like 8 or 9 glasses. There's probably, it was the end of the night, but there were still like 7 or 8 tables in the restaurant. And she runs over to me and she starts tearing me a new one. Like full yell. She's like, you fucking idiot. Like, what's wrong with you, you dumb fucking kid? Like, how stupid are you? You don't know how to use your fucking hands? Like, just roasting me. And at this point, like, the tables are starting to look over. They're like, what the fuck? Like, she's going off on me. And I'm just like, I'm sorry? Like, at this point, I was so shook by how, like, upset she was that I wasn't even really, like, scared. I was just like, oh my God. Like, what the fuck? And then this man, her ex-husband, who hasn't said a word, gets up and walks over and starts tearing her a new one. He's like, are you kidding me? He's just a kid. He's trying his best. Leave the poor kid alone. Like, why do you have to be such a bitch? And she looks at him and she's like, you need to grow a spine. Like, this is why your son killed himself. And he's like, you fuck it. Like, they start yelling, dude. Like, literally, like, they like are shoving each other. And every table in the restaurant's just staring. And at this point, I was like, I quit. I fucking quit. I quit. I just ran out of that restaurant. On my way out, one of the servers is like, you tried your best, sweetie. And I'm just like, fuck you. I dipped so hard. I didn't work in a restaurant again for like 3 years. I was like, no way, dude. These people are crazy. Like, insane. I like to tell that story to new employees when they break their first class. I'm like, look, it can always be worse. Like,
guaranteed,
guaranteed, dude. Oh my God. Restaurant's crazy.
What's your positioning over at Flower House?
Mainly a server, but I manage as well. I'm one of the managers. There's two of us, two managers. So I'll manage like 1 day a week, and then I serve the rest of the time. It's like pretty chill managing. It's not like I don't have to worry about the schedule or anything like that. I'm mainly just I basically the shift lead. Like I just run the whole place, which is nice because I get to dress however I want. Like that's why I'm dressed so bougie right now, because I'll get off.
Damn.
You know, I just go into work, dress up, and like run the place. When I was complaining, I'm like, hello, how may I help you? Like it's super chill, super nice. Like best job I've ever had. My bosses are wonderful people. They are just fantastic. Like care about me as a person, help me out as a person. Just they're great. But I'm usually a server. I love serving. Honestly, serving is so much fun. I love talking to people. I love like the grind of serving. I love being able to just like chat with tables, like exist. Like my whole job, I basically just get paid to talk to people. Yeah. And I'm like, I get paid a shit ton to talk to people, dude. Like, I'll rack it in just talking to people. I'm like, yeah, I got to carry some plates here and there or whatever. Like, you get paid to just exist and hang out with people. Like, how lucky is that? Like, I love it so much. And it's cool because it's a downtown restaurant. It's a nice spot. Super good time. Managing's fun, too. It's a little more stressful because you're in charge of everything. You got to kind of, like, lock in a little more and, like, really pay attention. But even then, it's fun because, like, people I know will come in and I'm running the restaurant downtown. And I'm like,
no, I fucking
what's
love,
up, guys?
I love Flower House.
Welcome in. Like, it's fantastic.
I need to come in there.
It's bomb.
You got to come in there. Have you not been there?
I've never been to Flower House.
Come on a Monday. We do meter Mondays. So on every Monday, we do these big meter pizzas with 6 different kinds of pizza on them. You come in with like a group. It's a great deal. It is such a vibe. Like these guys always come in. Her and her boyfriend, their whole staff will come in. Like and
on
like,
Mondays.
Yeah, and it's super chill because like you know if you work at a restaurant, if you're part of like the restaurant community, usually we'll hook it up a little bit here and there.
Are you
like
serious?
It's super chill.
Dude.
One of the things I love about working there is my bosses are really generous in that when people come in that we care about, they are not hesitant to hook it up.
Oh yeah, I love
like
that.
if my friends come in,
amazing.
even like my personal friends, even people that have nothing to do with restaurants, like my personal our friend group will come in and I'm like, hey guys, like that table is my friends. They spent like $700. Like, can we do something? They'll comp like a ton of it. They'll be like,
$700.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was one time that were you there? That one time that they came? No, I don't think you were there.
No.
That beach house we were going to in January. They came in one day after that, and they dropped like a $700 something tab. And I was managing that day, and I call my boss, and I'm like, hey, so my friends are here. They've spent about $760. Can I like hook them up in any way, like some free dessert or something? And she's like, yeah, just comp like $70 worth of stuff. And I'm just like, heard. Like they're so generous because I mean they do it for a reason, like it gives back. Like if you go to a restaurant and they are hooking you up in some way, you're gonna come back and you're gonna bring your friends. And so it makes sense from a marketing standpoint, but it's also great because it's like not just people they know will come back. It's like our friends, our family, the people we know come in, they're gonna hook it up, which is just so fantastic.
It's
like
so
working
nice.
there, the environment is so great, amazing. And it's a fancy, nice restaurant too. Like we do it on the other side. Like old people come in that are bougie and fancy and stuff. They'll buy like a $200 bottle of wine and they'll just exist on a fancy level, and being able to give that kind of like high quality service is honestly really fun. Like you feel bougie yourself.
Yeah.
And it was cool too because they gave me a chance, bro. Like I had never worked in a nice restaurant before I worked there. Besides Off the Hook, that doesn't count. I'd worked at like burger places and like breakfast places. And I started there as a busser because I had some friends that worked there, and I bussed for like 2 weeks, and they're like, do you want to try serving? And I was like, I would love to. And like I did fine, obviously, but it was just cool because I'm like, a lot of nice restaurants, they won't even look at you as a potential server unless you have years of experience serving in other places. And they're just fantastic people. They give those chances.
How long have you worked at Flower House?
Almost 2 years. It's like coming up on 2 years now.
Is that one of the dominant restaurants downtown?
Oh yeah.
100%. Like I'm probably biased because I work there, but like I would say so. One of my favorite things about working there that I always thought was funny, before COVID especially, but also kind of now, is like me and my coworkers would go out downtown. And we'd get off work, we'd still be wearing like our like white shirt, like dress clothes and stuff. And people would be like, oh, where do you guys work? We'd be like, oh, Flower House. And they'd be like, oh my God, you guys work at Flower House? Like, holy shit. And like, like even like people would like recognize us. So we'd go out and they'd be like, don't you work at Flower House? Like it's like celebrity status. And I'm like, holy shit. Like,
is it celebrity status?
Like not like a lot, but like at times I'm like, oh my God, like what's up? Like it's pretty cool. I had this one girl, it was super funny. I was at the Mark one night and I was like talking to my friends and she went to go to the bathroom and like we're at that little, like, have you seen the new patio? You've seen the patio at the Mark. I've seen you at the patio, right? Yeah, the back patio, yeah. So I'm at that little back bar and I'm like drinking and stuff. My friend goes off and I'm like standing there by myself and this girl comes up and she's like a little faded. She's like, hey. And I'm like, hey, like what's up? Like how's it going? And she's like, not much. You just get off work? Because like I still have my work clothes on. I'm like, yeah, I just got off work. Like how are you? And she's like, I'm good. Where do you work? And I'm like, oh, I work at Flower House. She's like, what's your name? I'm like, I'm Sterling. She's like, wait. you're Sterling at Flower House? And I'm like, I am Sterling at Flower House. She's like, turn around. I was like, what? I was like, hold on, what? I like, okay, like, all right. I turn around and she's like, oh my God, it's true. I was like, what? She's like, you have a dump truck ass. I was like, what? She's like, my friend had you as a server. She said your ass was juicy. I was like, your friend said that? She was like, pretty much. I was like,
Sterling okay, does have like a dump truck of ass.
I have a dump truck of ass. I got cake for days.
Dude, we're gonna have to show the camera.
Oh man, bro, I gotta dump the phone out.
Stand up for the camera. He does have a booty.
Real nice.
He does have a booty.
Dude, you really do.
I got a dump truck ass, bro. She's
dude, that is a dump truck of an ass.
That's where these tips come from. Let me tell you what.
Where did that come from?
Get it.
My mama. My mama and being a fat child for a few years. Lost the weight, but the ass stayed. Shit.
So
yeah,
she
good
knew
stuff.
From she heard ass rumors.
She heard ass rumors. I have had not one but two girls whose numbers I've gotten at Flower House specifically because of my ass, dude.
Girls are really into asses now.
I didn't know that. I would like. I used to be self-conscious about it. I used to think I looked fat.
Really
oh yeah, I've learned that living downtown. Just another aspect of how downtown has made my life better. But I had this one girl, like these two girls, like her and her friend came back one night as I was like closing up at Flower House, and they're like waving at the window, and I'm like, who are these girls waving at me? But like, if I see hot girls waving at me, I'm gonna go outside. So I'm like, hey, like, what's up? And they're like, we were at your table earlier. Do you remember us? And I was like, oh yeah, like yeah, no, I do, and I did. I was like, oh hey, what's up? And one of them was like, look, dude, I thought you were cute, but once you turned around and I saw that booty, I knew I needed your Snapchat. And her friend's like, yeah, boy, you taking out the trash and the recycling at the same time. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, all right, like, take my Snapchat. Like, totally. Like, yes, like, here it is.
That's a great
thing. And they're like, what are you doing when you get off? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I get off in like 10 minutes. And they're like, okay, we're going to McClintock's next door. Come meet us. And I was like, oh, shit, yes. Amazing.
Yeah, I certainly get it.
But, like, that's why I wear tight server pants. You know, you drop a napkin, you're like, oops, I dropped a napkin. Yeah. Amazing. Good shit, though. Good shit.
Oh, my God.
You're kind of flipping roles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, hey, guys, actually, like, look at my ass.
No, exactly. Oh, yeah, it's a power move for sure. Like, I don't do it on purpose, but I'm just like, you know what? The role switch, nice.
Have they felt your booty?
Oh, yeah.
Like, have you been serving in a table smacked your ass?
Not at Flower House. There was one time at my previous job. I used to work at a burger place.
What was the burger place called?
Nichols and Los Osos. I used to work at Nichols and Los Osos like a couple years ago. It was both pizza and burgers. Okay. We had pizza. I kind of looked at it more as a burger place because the vibe was more a burger place.
Once, and it was trash.
Yeah, that place. I worked there for a long time. I worked there for like 4 years.
4?
Yeah, when I first after high school, I went to UC Santa Cruz for a year. And when I came back, I got a job at Nichols, and I worked there up until I got the job at Flower House a couple years ago. But there was one time that I was working, and like I was. I'll get your job. I'll hire you.
So I have an interview at a blood bank tomorrow. They pay like I think $19 an hour. And you're just traveling up and down the coast, dropping off blood.
Dude, when you work it out with tips, you make like $15 an hour.
Yeah, tips.
Tips is the way to go. It's hard to escape the restaurant business because you make disgusting amounts of money.
My job, I love working at Pappy's. I love it. I love everyone.
It's a cool place.
It's a super cool place, but for 6 months now, I've been trying to become a server. And every single time I ask my manager, she's like, yeah, we'll have a conversation. We'll talk about it later. No, there's never a conversation about it.
When it's time to dip, it's time to dip. If you find something else, don't be afraid to bail. At the end of the day, you might love your workplace, but you gotta do what's right for you. But yeah. But yeah, we'll find.
I love it there. It's great.
Oh, I love it there too. Every time I go in there, it's a good vibe.
It's amazing. But, I fucking love it, and I love everyone who works there.
Oh, it seems super fun.
So I'm just trying to look for.
Your staff's great. Yeah, you gotta find that serving job. Anyways, but yeah. So anyway, Nichols. So I worked there. The only time I ever had a customer slap my ass was one time. I'm working there, and like there was like this like dude in there that was like obviously like gay, and like he had been making comments to me all night, like hitting on me and stuff. And I'm like, for sure, man. Like thanks. Like that's cool. I get it. Like I'm fruity. Like people think I'm gay too. Like shoot your shot. Like totally. And so I had like dropped a napkin or something, and like this was before I really appreciated the power of my ass. Like I didn't really know it was there. I was just like, yeah, whatever, my butt. Like cool, thanks, nowhere. And I dropped a napkin. I go to pick it up, and this dude's like, damn that ass. And I was like, thanks.
Thank you.
And anyways, so I was like dropping off their waters, and like, you know, part of being a server is you have to flirt with your tables. Like you have to read the table.
Yeah.
I have different kinds of service. You know, I'll have like my bougie fancy service when there's like customers that I can tell are here for like an exquisite fancy setting. that's not so much of a flirting. That's more of just like a butler position. But then you have your tables where they're like our age and they're getting drunk. And it's like you're flirting with them. You're getting your tips from flirting, not from how well you can pour wine into a cup. So, you know, I got that early on. So I'm like kind of flirt with the table, do my thing. And I drop some waters off and I turn around and I kind of like stop for a second because my coworker says something to me. And this guy lines the fuck up and just smacks my ass. And I was like, and I turn around, his friend's like, dude, what the fuck? You can't just slap the server's ass like that. And I was like, honestly, you probably shouldn't just slap the server's ass. Like, I don't really care personally. Like, you're good this time, but like, next time. And he's just like, I had to. And I was like, thanks, for sure. I have not had that happen since then. But I wouldn't really mind if it did. But yeah, crazy though.
Interesting.
You say you work at Pappy McGregor's. Where is Pappy McGregor's?
It's downtown Paso, so it's right by Taste.
Are you serious?
It's like, okay, so when you're at Taste, it's like literally Pappy's is like, okay, this is the street across from the park, and then Taste is like along this one. So Taste is right here, you walk, Pappy's is like right in the middle. So I work at Pappy's. It's like kind of like an Irish pub, so it's nice. I like it, but it's like right downtown Paso.
Do you know who Conor McGregor is?
The
like
fighter,
the boxer?
The boxer.
Yeah, the UFC.
It was definitely not him. Not even for him. I fucking wish.
Pappy McGregor's.
Everyone always asks me that.
God.
They're like, so like Conor McGregor, like, and I was like,
Like,
no.
At the restaurant?
Oh my god.
They ask you that at the restaurant?
Yes, people ask me that all the time.
I'm sure.
Weird question to ask at a restaurant.
It's fucking weird. People are just fucking weird all the time over there. It's like, I had one guy literally, so last year before we shut down, like a couple months before we shut down, because we shut down a little bit after St. Patty's Day, and obviously I work at it's an Irish pub, so St. Patty's Day is always poppin'. So a couple days before St. Patty's we shut down, but a couple months before that, I had some guy come in. I can't remember what happened, but he got up and he started singing this Irish song, like in the middle of the fucking floor. All the tables were like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Shut up out of nowhere, like started singing this fucking Irish song. My manager had to kick him out because it's like no one wants to fucking listen to that when they're dining. Like
I would. Personally.
It was just so weird. It was so weird. So we get a lot of crazy people like that. It's fucking weird. It's
I'm
weird
sure.
as fuck.
Dude, this last St. Patty's Day, I went to Frog and Peach when I got off work, and there was, I shit you not, this Irish man at the bar. And I go up to the bar to order a drink, and this dude's got, like, Guinnesses, like, lined up. He's got, like, 8 or 9 Guinnesses there. And I didn't know he was Irish at first. Like, he didn't look Irish specifically or anything. But I go up to the bar, and, like, this dude next to me has, like, 8 or 9 Guinnesses lined up. And I'm like, okay, like, well, for sure. And I'm, like, waiting to order a drink, and he comes up to me, and he's just like, oh, happy St. Patty's Day. And I'm just like, oh, thanks, man. Like, you too. And he's like, this one's for you. Like, cheers. I can't do an Irish accent. But he's just like, he's like, this one's for you. And he, like, hands me a Guinness. And he's like, cheers, bro. Like, slaps him on the back and, like, runs away. And I was like, what the fuck? The other 7 or 8 Guinnesses still sitting there, runs away. And I'm like, I look at the bartender, and she's like, I don't know, dude. Like, go for it. And I'm like, did he pay for it? She's like, yeah, he paid for it. I mean, they're just sitting there. And he runs over to this table, and he's all like, oi, those Guinnesses up on the bar are all for all of you. And he just fucking runs off, and everyone's like, facts, like gets up and grabs Guinnesses. And I'm like, dude, this guy's going hard. Like just a couple weeks ago, this last St. Patty's. And I was like, I mean, I don't drink beer really, but like if an Irish man offers you a Guinness on St. Patty's Day, you are legally bound to drink it. Like you cannot say no. Like I would be such a square if I didn't drink it. So definitely drink it.
You almost deserve to get punched if you don't.
Dude, 100%. If an Irish man on St. Patty's Day offers you a Guinness or a shot of Jameson and you don't drink it, I'm sorry, you's a bitch.
Yep.
Dude, I'm gonna have to do a little Paso visit. I'm gonna have to hit Taste, get some food, and then I'm gonna have to hit Pappy's.
Paso's awesome. Alchemist Garden is amazing too.
Alchemist is good. The 1122 Speakeasy behind Pappy's.
Oh yeah, they're
fucking bomb.
That place is nice.
Yeah, they're fucking bomb.
Paso's got some good shit.
Damn.
Pine Street. The rodeo.
Pine Street. If you want to fucking send it with like a bunch of kooks, Pine Street. That's the dive bar. Yeah, that's the racist bar, dude. I mean, it's fun, but like, oh my god.
Dude, it's crazy how bars get like locals.
Yeah.
Like the locals come in. And
oh yeah, dude, Pine Street's so like fucking we walked in there and like I usually tuck my shirt in. Like I like again, like I said earlier, I like to look nice. And I walk into Pine Street and I'm like, I'm gonna untuck my shirt before I get beat up. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get like hate crimed if I don't untuck my shirt right now. We went in there one time, it was karaoke night. My friends were like, Sterling, you love karaoke, like sing. And I'm like, if I sing in this bar, I'm gonna get the shit pummeled out of me.
Yeah.
Like I will get hate crimed. I'm not singing anything in this bar. Yeah. Like I go in, there's like a cowboy singing fucking like, baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not singing shit in this bar, dude. Like, no way. Downtown SLO, though.
That place is ratchet.
I will. Buffalo just started karaoke every Sunday. You will see me there.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo
I haven't done karaoke. Yeah, dude, I just went on Sunday. They haven't done it in over a year. I walked in there and literally almost cried. I was like, it's been so long. I was a karaoke fiend before COVID. I used to go to karaoke 3 nights a week before COVID.
3 nights a week?
Buffalo would be Sundays, like library would be like Wednesdays or something, and Motab would be like Thursdays.
Do you sing?
So 3 days a week. No, I don't sing. I sing like
let's
shit.
Hear it, though.
I don't sing good. I just love karaoke. Oh, you'll hear it if you slap some karaoke on. I don't sing good. I cannot sing, but I just love karaoke.
So when is Buffalo
It's just such a vibe.
Nights?
Every Sunday, 8 to midnight.
Okay.
Be there. It's good. Karaoke's so fun.
Do you do, like, what do you karaoke-ing? My
go-to is Country Roads. I have, like, another like, Sweet Caroline for sure. Like...
Right.
You know every word of those songs.
My go-to is... Oh, yeah. My go-to is I don't even need the screen anymore. I've done them so many times. Yeah, like, Build Me Up Buttercup. Like, dude, like... what's that one song by the fucking Backstreet Boys?
Bye, Bye, Bye.
No, the other one. Oh my god, I'm blanking so hard right now.
I don't really.
Tell Me Why. I don't know what it's called though. Is it called Tell Me Why? Tell Me Why. That one. Got it. Idea. But dude, I used to go to karaoke so much that when I would go to the library for karaoke, I would walk in and if nobody, like I hadn't even signed up for a song yet, and if nobody was signing up, the DJ would just call me as soon as he saw me and be like, yo, sing this as filler.
What the hell?
He would use me as filler, bro. Like I'd walk in and be like warming up, just like getting a drink. He'd be like, Sterling, and I'm like, what? I didn't sign up. And I go up, I'll be like, yes. He's like, yeah, just sing Sweet Caroline or something. And I'm like, all right, like for sure, dude. Like he just knew. Yeah, I just busted down, of course, bro. Oh yeah. No, karaoke. I don't sing good, but like, fuck it. It's no one sings good at a dive bar at karaoke. Like you just send it. So it's chill.
And you were doing this in Paso or SLO?
In SLO, all in SLO, yeah.
What's the difference between Paso downtown and SLO downtown?
It was a big difference.
SLO downtown is more like bars.
More bars, more just like send.
Paso's more like restaurants.
It's like classy. Paso downtown's like classy. Paso downtown, you go get classy drunk.
Paso is very classy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you get classy. You wouldn't think so, but
the wine people go and like the drunk bitches.
It's expensive too, like rich people. Yeah, you go get classy in Paso, and then downtown SLO, you just go wild. It's like
I feel like the main spots are like Street Side Taste, Happy's, 1122, Alchemist just opened up.
I love that place.
So I fucking love Alchemist.
I was so upset.
Tony, I love Andrew.
Me and my coworkers had hit so they do like brunch the first Sunday of every month. Me and my coworkers had hit it every month in a row until like last month.
Then why the fuck didn't you come visit me afterwards?
I usually visit you on the way. I'll like walk past Pappy's and I'll be like, Grace, Lindsay, hey.
No, you won't because I never see you.
Well, usually I work on Sundays at 3. So we'd go there, we'd get there at like 11, we'd hang out till like 1:30, and I'm like, I have to get to work. So like,
pass by, come say hello. I'm always behind the bar on Sundays.
Are you
always
really?
Behind the bar, yes.
I'm gonna start coming. Well, I always like work at 3.
I'll buy you a shot.
Oh, girl.
Motherfucker.
Say less. I'll be there. I will take any free shot. Yeah. Maybe not any, but like most. I won't take a free shot of Everclear. That would be dangerous.
We don't have
I don't think anyone has Everclear, but like, dude, I remember my old coworker one time at Flower House. We had this busser, and he wasn't 21 yet, and he's like, hey man, like, will you buy me alcohol? It's my friend's birthday. And I was like, I mean, like, what do you want? And he's like, we were thinking of like a bottle of Everclear.
Ew.
We want to get fucked up. And I was like,
disgusting.
I am absolutely not buying you a fucking bottle of Everclear. You're gonna kill yourself. And he's like, no, dude, like we want to get shithoused. And I'm like,
no,
dude, you're not gonna get shithoused. You're gonna get fucking hospitalized. And he's like, no, man, like don't worry, like we're responsible. I'm like, you're stupid. I'm like, I'll get you some vodka or something. And like, long story short, a couple days later, he comes to work. Yeah, buddy, thank you so much.
So what's
he
your
comes
choice
to work.
to drink?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I actually have this.
It varies. I do not drink beer. I mean, like, obviously, if someone buys me beer, I'm not gonna be a dick and say, oh, like, I'll drink it, but I prefer not to drink beer. Yeah. Oh, that was empty.
Fucking Sterling, dude.
Cheers. Ass, yo.
Oh, okay.
Ass, titties, ass, titties.
Yeah.
So, I like mostly go for liquor. I realized if I stick to liquor, I just feel better in the morning. Like, I don't get as hungover. I feel just better in general. So, like, not just shots. Like, I'll either get, like, some nice whiskey and sip it, like an old 40-year-old single sad man, which I'm not, but, like, you know. Yeah. That's what single 40-year-old men do. They go home and drink whiskey. So I'll either get whiskey, or I'll get, like, a gin and tonic, because it's just straight. Okay. Like, there's no sugar. There's no BS. It is what it is. Sometimes a Jameson Mule. It's usually my go-to. Like a White Claw, like at parties and stuff, White Claws because they're cheap and easy and they're canned. Yeah, that's like old people. But my preferred drink will be like, gin and tonic or like a whiskey. I love Negronis. I do love a good Negroni. If I go out to like a restaurant and like I don't really get their cocktail menu, I'll send it on a Negroni usually because those are awesome. But it's usually the go-to.
Yeah. Interesting.
What's your favorite drink?
It's hard because I like it. It's really hard because I don't really like get cocktails unless it's from my work, and it's like we go through a lot of different cocktails. So we have seasonal cocktails at my work, so it's like spring, summer, fall, winter. We'll have different cocktails, so it's like hard because whatever they have on the menu, it's like I stick to one. But like usually, if it's like just random, I'll get like a margarita, or I'll get like a screwdriver, but with pineapple juice. It's like pineapple and vodka.
Good shit.
Or pickleback or Fernet. Fernet Menta. I love Fernet. Fernet Menta. I hate Fernet
Okay, Fernet Menta's not bad, dude.
I fucking love Fernet
People sleep on Fernet Menta.
I love Fernet. Have you tried Fernet yet?
Fernet's an expensive vodka?
No, it's
a bartender server thing for sure.
It's kind of like an industry thing.
It's an industry
thing. Honestly, it's a very acquired taste.
It's a digestive. Do you know about digestives and like digestives? No. So basically, like it's a class of liquors that you typically drink after eating a meal, and it settles your stomach. So like when like you hit Thanksgiving dinner and you food coma, your stomach like you feel fat as shit. You're just like, oh my god, I ate too much. There's a whole class of liquor dedicated to curing that feeling. So if you ever go out to a nice restaurant, take a girl on a date, you go to a nice dinner. After dinner, if you want to be really classy, you ask the server, what are your digestives? And they will list them off. Fernet's like the trashy one, I would say. Like, it's not trashy, but it's not the one you're usually going to pick. It's disgusting.
Honestly, it's so gross.
But you drink it as a server or bartender. It's like it started in San Francisco because basically the legend, as far as I know, the legend is in San Francisco, the way bartenders behind like busy bars would get to drink on shift is by drinking Fernet because nobody would ever order Fernet. So you could just get away with it because they're not going to notice the stock dropping because it just sits on the shelf. So they pour little shots because it's not terrible, but it doesn't taste very good.
Yeah. It's not good at all.
But it is a digestive. So not only does it give you a buzz, it like feels nice in your stomach.
It tastes like it's like a bunch of botanicals. So it's like thyme, rosemary. What else?
All kinds of stuff.
Like all kinds of shit.
But it's herbal, yeah, and it just settles your stomach. But also, it's like like if you go into a restaurant and you order a Fernet, that server or bartender immediately knows that you are also a server or bartender. It is known. It's like a thing.
Hey,
it's like
can I get a Fernet?
Yeah, if you be like, can I get a Fernet? They're gonna be like, where do you work? Like they know immediately because nobody drinks that shit unless you work in the industry. And it's not bad. It's just like it just nobody looks at it. Usually like limoncello. You know what limoncello is? Like limoncello is a digestive. Really? Limoncello? You've heard of limoncello though?
Never.
Really?
Dude, limoncello.
I mean, I get it. Like no, I didn't know anything about liquor before I started either, but. It's just there's a whole class like if you ask for like an Amaro, like there's things you drink after eating and it settles your stomach. It's like dessert in a drink and it's not really sweet. It's just like serves the function of calming your stomach. But Fernet is more just like the go-to, and honestly, like I kind of love it. Like most people just kind of drink it as like that sign, but don't actually like it. I don't think.
Yeah. It's so nasty.
I love it, dude.
It's so gross.
I love that shit. But Fernet has a dark cousin, Fernet Menta. Fernet Branca is the go-to.
Bomb. It tastes like Thin Mints if it's chilled.
It does. It's not bad. It's minty.
Oh, it's fine.
It's like mouthwash you can swallow. But
Fernet Branca on the other hand. Just if you ever go to a bar,
just order Fernet Branca. I should have brought some, honestly.
I know the Mark, they have Fernet Branca
on tap. They have it on tap at the Mark. When I first, I was like, y'all have Fernet on tap, dude. Oh my god. So if you ask for a Fernet and you don't specify, you're getting Fernet Branca, which is like the original Fernet. But they have Fernet Menta, which is a minty one. And honestly, like, it's not terrible. At first, I hated it, but the more I drink it, the more I'm like, it's literally just Listerine that you can swallow.
Yeah, and I know a lot of places, they'll do, like, Fernet discounted because it's kind of like that industry thing. And so they'll do Fernet, like, I know Pappy sells it for, like, $5 a shot versus, like,
have you heard of a Ferrari? Like a cocktail of Ferrari? It's like one of those OG cocktails.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Have you not heard of a Ferrari?
No.
It's half Fernet, half Campari. It's pretty good. You don't really want to sip it. Like, I would take it as a shot, but you can.
Disgusting.
It's a little harsh, but like after you drink it, you feel so nice.
So it's like a Fernet.
It like makes you tingly in here. It's nice. It just settles you.
So it does. So it's a drink you drink later on in the night.
Usually,
pretty much.
Usually,
some people will just shoot it right away.
Mm-hmm. I always shoot it right away.
It's nasty.
I start and end with a Fernet. If I go out and...
We should have brought Fernet.
One of the nice things that we should have brought fucking Fernet. I almost did, dude. I have a bottle
I've
at my house. Any liquor store.
Anywhere.
They always have it. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's just a liqueur, yeah.
It's cheap as fuck.
Rite Aid probably has it. I haven't bought it at Rite Aid. I'm sure they do. Liquor stores will have it.
It's Rite Aid does not have it.
I don't know. Rite Aid, do they sell liquor? It's not a specialty. It's more of a specialty. It's not like Rite Aid carries like vodka, tequila, rum, but like it's more of like a liqueur. So like if you go to a liquor store, they'll have it usually.
Sandy's.
Yeah,
like Sandy's for sure. Sandy's has that shit. Sandy's has shooters of it.
Dude, Sandy's is
I go into Sandy's
gnarly,
now. Dude, Sandy's still sells. I shouldn't actually out there. But yeah, Sandy's sells all kinds of good shit.
Dude, can we talk about that real fast?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, they banned nicotine puff bars.
I'm heated. They'll ban puff bars and slow. They'll ban vapes and slow, but they're not gonna ban cigarettes. Like, juice my ass, dude. I guarantee it's better to have people vaping than smoking cigarettes. And I'm sure that's controversial, and I'm sure people would love to fight me on that, and, like, that's fine. But, like, the thing is, in slow, the reason they ban it isn't because they care about your health. The reason they ban it is because they don't want people smoking cigarettes because they think they stink, which they kind of do. But, like, if your prerogative is to ban them so you don't have people smoking in public, fucking ban the cigarettes and allow the vapes, dude. At least they don't smell bad, and you can ghost your hits and they disappear. Like, don't guise it as public health. They're the same thing. Like, oh my god, it's so irritating because I'm just gonna go to Pismo and buy it anyway. Like,
this is actually going to transition perfectly into one of the last topics I wanted to bring up. Are you guys down? So right now we're at an hour and 42 minutes. You guys down to go for like
perfection?
Like, no more than 2 hours type shit. You
Perfect.
guys down for another like 20?
Yeah,
works for
that's
me.
perfect.
20,
I'm here for it.
Why would they ban hit sticks, puff bars, whatever? Why would they ban that? Like that, like I don't understand why they would ban that.
I
like
think
that's your freedom of being able to say, hey, today I want to drink coffee. I'm gonna drink this drug.
Yeah.
It's called caffeine.
Totally.
I'm gonna get fucked up on caffeine today. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, I'm gonna go to Sandy's. I'm gonna buy nicotine, and I'm gonna get fucked up on nicotine today.
Totally.
So I think personally, to me, this is what I think. I think that it's like a lot of times we'll see younger kids smoking this kind of shit versus smoking cigarettes. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a huge impact on like Nick sticks and all that shit and like puff bars and Juuls, blah 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 blah, because everyone sees a bunch of fucking younger kids doing it versus them actually smoking cigarettes, because they like, I'd much rather smoke that than smoke a fucking cigarette.
I don't even like cigarettes.
So
I won't lie, I have a nicotine addiction. Cigarettes don't do it for me.
So I think it's a huge stigma on like the kids, like not young children, I say high schoolers, teenagers to like our age kind of. I feel like we see more people smoking that versus smoking cigarettes.
Definitely.
You know, but it's just so weird. Like I just don't get it.
I feel like because of what you're saying though, old people will look at it and they'll be like, vaping's getting the kids in, so they want to ban it. But like, they don't think about the fact that kids would be smoking cigarettes anyways. And like, yeah, this is easier to obtain and easier to hit, but like, that doesn't mean it's sucking kids in. And on top of that, like, they banned smoking in slow like years ago. They're like, you can't smoke in public, which is fine. I don't really care about that. Like, they don't really enforce it. And on top of that, like, that's understandable. Like, you don't want to be giving secondhand smoke out for sure. But like, at the end of the day, like, you can't just ban the whole thing. Like, if anything, tighten it down. Like, look more at like kids smoking it. Look more at like illegal sales. Look more at like seeing kids with it and maybe being like actually getting those kids in trouble for having it. Because right now, you can't get in trouble. I believe, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure, as someone who is like under 21, you can't actually get in trouble for having a vape or cigarettes. You just get in trouble for selling it to them. So change that. Be like, if you have it, you can get cited. And I guarantee they wouldn't do it as much because they'd be more worried. Like weed, for example. Like when we were in high school, we were like, obviously we still smoked weed, but we were more scared to because we're like, if we get caught with this, we're in trouble. Whereas like cigarettes and vapes, you don't actually get in trouble for having it unless they change that. Could be wrong still. But like, dude, like, I just don't understand banning vapes and not banning cigarettes.
Yeah, it's
like at the end of the day, I'm like, that baffles me how that comes through, because I'm like, dude, like, tell me you wouldn't rather have people smoking vapor that just disappears than having people smoke cigarettes that linger and smell and shit like that and are just more like toxic. Like, you have to smoke a whole cigarette to get the same effect as one puff of a vape. So even then, it's still like worse for you.
Like 2 of these is equivalent to what, like 6 or 7 cigarettes.
Oh, I honestly don't know. I would probably say one of these is probably about it. This is like 2,000 puffs. It's probably close to a pack of cigarettes, but like probably this lasts me like a week. Like this lasts me a whole week. Like some people smoke a pack a day. And like even me, like I mentioned a second ago, like with cigarettes, like I've never understood. Like before vapes came around, I never had a nicotine problem. I tried cigarettes, I never got it because I didn't get the head rush. I didn't understand. Like they just tasted terrible, and you have to smoke an entire cigarette to feel kind of like buzzed.
I don't understand that.
And with this, like you take a fat puff, you're like, oh, and then it's over in like 3 seconds. And it's like I don't understand like cigarettes. Like you have to smoke so many of them to get the same effect as one puff of this, and like. Yeah, nicotine levels, this is probably equivalent, but like in terms of what's actually entering your lungs and doing the damage, I can't imagine this is worse. And again, I'm not a scientist, I don't know. This seems better societally and in general to me than cigarettes do. And so the fact they ban them and not cigarettes, I'm like, dude, why?
Dude, speaking of which, or sorry, I can't.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying it's hard to determine that when it's like.
It is.
I just think it has something to do with like all the teenagers that are fucking buying it. It's like illegal like fake IDs.
I think that's the main reason is teenagers getting hold of them. That's kind of the driving force behind like banning them. Is like kids having them.
Because it tastes good. No one wants to fucking smoke cigarettes anymore because that shit.
Oh, never. No, yeah. This shit tastes amazing.
Dude, before I say what I'm about to say, do you mind if I take a little drag of that?
Say less, brother. Take a big drag of that bad boy.
Oh, shit.
Pull harder, dog.
What flavor is that?
That's just mint. You have to kind of rip them. You have to rip them pretty hard.
Dude, yeah. The people making the laws to get this shit like this banned, they don't understand us.
No.
You know what I mean? You guys, I want to say this is pretty much factual. You guys are sitting down next to right now one of the most pro advocate of legalization of every drug.
Definitely.
Yeah. No,
I'm the same way.
I'm the
everything.
Same way.
I'm like Erowid.com. Have you been to Erowid.com, dude?
No.
Bro.
What is it?
Bro. Erowid. EROWID. You type that into Google. Erowid is a website that is non-profit. There's no ads. It's ran purely on donations. It's kind of similar to Wikipedia in that regard. It is dedicated to the understanding of and information on every drug. If there is one takeaway from this video, Erowid, look it up and read it. Before you do any drug, if you're considering doing any drug, if you're curious about any drug, go to Erowid. It is basically a Wikipedia of drug use. Not in like a weird tweak way, but in a genuine, like, it is like drug use and human spirit. Like, you go on that website, they have listings for every drug known to man, every spiritual topic known to man. It literally, the caption of the website is documenting the connection between humans and drug use, like spirit and drug use. So, like, you go into it and you'll go to things like, you know, shrooms and DMT, like the more spiritual ones. There's a catalog of, like, people's experiences, like the way it's synthesized, like where it comes from, how it works, and down to things of like health effects and whatnot. And then there's pages on things like fake acid, like all those research chemicals that like high school kids do when they're like, oh, I did acid, and really it's like someone's like fucking basement cleaner, like all that shit,
like
everything,
poison,
weed,
yeah.
literally any drug that you can imagine that exists. They have an entire page dedicated to like how it works, what it does, people's experiences that they volunteer, everything. It has it all on there. And it's important to understand because, like, before I ever did any drugs, before I ever did Molly, before I ever did anything, you bet your sweet, juicy ass, I went to Erowid first and read about it and was like, okay, so this is what I can expect. And this is what it's like. And they even tell you, they're like, this is how you know if it's good or not. If it's this color, don't do it. Always get your test kits. They have places to buy test kits. Test kits are so cheap. Always test your drugs.
Remember when
always test
Callie
your
sent
drugs.
us a video of, okay, so our friend in our group chat, she sent us a video of, she got like, what an
yeah, like
a gram of cocaine, and she chopped it all up, and there was like this brown
There's
stuff
like cardboard
in the
fragments
cocaine.
Or something, like fur.
And she's like,
in it.
is this normal? Like, I got it from the ocean. So
yeah,
like,
we're
is
like,
it normal?
no,
Like, and
not
everyone's
normal.
Like, I don't think there should be brown stuff in your cocaine.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Like brown stuff that looks like what, like cardboard or like paper,
like fractured cardboard,
or like something that should not be found
Definitely
in
not.
drugs.
Yeah.
But
Always
she's
test
like,
your drugs,
I
dude.
already took a line, but like I don't know if this is normal.
SLO County lately has had an uptick in non-fatal overdoses from like fentanyl and drugs. Like always test your shit. You can get drug testers at the center. You can get drug testers at most, like even Planned Parenthood has drug testers. I'm pretty sure you can buy them on Amazon. I'm not 100%
Oh yeah,
sure.
for sure.
But always test your drugs. They're like $10. Just if you're somebody that likes to experiment with different things, just have that shit on deck. Always have like a drug tester and always have Narcan just on deck. Be the responsible friend, you know? Like, you're going to do it. Everyone does it. Just have that shit ready because you don't know what's going to happen.
Get it from a reliable source.
Get it from a reliable source. Somebody who's had it from before, someone you can trust. But, like, if you're getting random shit from random people, don't just take it and be like, oh, let's send.
Super sketchy.
Like, always test that shit. Like, 100%. But, like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, shit's just crazy, though. Like, people can just wake up one day and say, "Hey, we're banning this." I don't like that. I don't like
it either. You should be able to do whatever you want to do. Like, legalize every drug, like you're saying. Like, let the choice be up to you. If you want to do this, like, your body, your choice. Like, that applies to certain topics specifically, but it should apply to every topic. Like,
everything.
Yeah, like, I get, like, things like bath salts, you do them and you become a fucking, like, wook zombie that goes out and attacks people. Like, that's a little different. That was your choice. But if you do that, get tased, bro. Like, sorry, you're gonna get tased. Like, don't prevent them from doing that. If somebody's dumb enough to do something like that and go become a fucking, like, freak, they'll get tased and arrested. Amazing. But, like, you should be able to do things like Molly, like, do things like shrooms, like, things you want to do in your time for yourself. Why is society telling you not to? And honestly, I firmly believe it's because things like that awaken you to how, like, whack society can be.
How real.
Like, I know it's a bit of a conspiracy theory. I think a lot of the reason that you're not allowed to do certain things, like, they don't love weed being popular, they don't want you to go do shrooms or DMT, is because they think that, like, you're going to awaken and be like, oh, why is society like this? And if enough people do that, it kind of hits the base of, like, the society of, like, go to school, get a job, have a family, die.
Well, that's the thing. You know,
because people will break out of that. Like, you do things like that, you realize this isn't about that, it's about you. Do your thing. And that's not the most beneficial thing for society as a whole, as we know it.
That's the thing to me. Wasn't DMT, like, I don't really know much about, like, DMT, any, like, super gnarly drug like that, but wasn't DMT, like, used by the Native Americans during their... What is it called?
I think that was more peyote. The Native Americans in North America were more about peyote, which is similar. Peyote is a cactus that grows, and you'll ingest peyote, and you have a similar kind of spiritual, like, trip, not like a drug trip, but like a literal spiritual journey. DMT is more like Southern America.
Okay.
DMT is like synthesized from the bark of like a certain trees, I believe, mixed with certain other things. And they both have similar effects in that once doing them, your journey isn't like, whoa, bro, I see cool shapes. Your journey is like the universe. Like, you're witnessing everything. Like, you're witnessing whatever you think God may be. You're witnessing, like, the higher level of consciousness.
I've always wanted to try DMT.
I plan to someday. I still haven't yet.
I really want to try it.
I mean, me personally, with shrooms alone, I've seen as spiritual. But the reason I love stuff like that is it comes from the earth. Like, if you do something like acid or, like, whatever, it's like, that's cool. You may have had a great time. Like, for sure. Like, take that, run with it. But that was synthesized. Like, how real is it? But things like shrooms, DMT, peyote, those things come from the earth. And in taking them in their natural form, like, that is something that the earth gave you. Whether or not you believe it's true, whether or not you take what you want from it, either way, that is something that your ancestors could have done in the same way that you're doing it right now. And I mean, like, how much more real can you get, you know? Like, that's about as real as it is. Like, that is it. That is the planet we came from, and this thing also came from that planet. Put them together, whatever you're getting is as real as you're gonna get. I believe.
Dude, to kind of wrap things up, and I loved how you guys, like, came up on here and you guys are like, let's fucking run a podcast. Like, I am so pumped you guys came out. You guys have no idea. I am so happy right now that you guys came out. I'm not even fucking with you guys.
Thank you.
No, I am too.
Extremely stoked. But yeah, dude, I was thinking, like, today especially, but I don't know what your guys' standpoint and, like, viewpoint is on, like, how human nature got here, but I really almost think that that's aliens.
No, fucking no.
Aliens put us here and they saw us hatch, and aliens have been here this entire time, and aliens like gave us the blueprint on how to build pyramids and like speed up evolution.
I will do a whole other podcast on
it. Seriously though, and like humans and like aliens, like think about it. Like a couple thousand years ago, we went from building fucking like straw huts to like now we're going to Mars and shit. Like the reason of that is because we have been in contact with aliens.
I believe it. I believe
like, not everyone. Just like a couple like alien. I think aliens have been here this whole time. I believe in UFOs. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of fucking UFOs.
Yeah. I've definitely seen
I believe more like interdimensional aliens than extraterrestrial aliens.
They're here to help us.
I agree.
And they put us here on purpose. And they know that at any point a fucking meteor can take everybody out, and they're here to go like, okay, like, hey, like let's help out this species that we put you. It'd be like a science experiment that you guys you guys just grew this new moth and it's pink.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You guys don't want to see it just die out randomly. No, like you're gonna help it thrive. You're gonna give it water. You're gonna give it oxygen. Like I think like. How the fuck did we get here, guys?
Okay, I kind of want to go into this. I really want to go into this.
I agree.
Because this is the shit I think about like every single fucking night. If not every single night, maybe every fucking week. So, yeah, like, I believe there's a God. I believe whatever, you know. But how the fuck do we know the Bible's true? How the fuck... It could literally be a story someone fucking made up. Like, someone fucking wrote. Like, we don't fucking know if it's true. I've seen so many different articles, so many different things on, like... there's so many lost things of the Bible. Like, there's no way that there's not, like, okay, if there's a fucking God, like, you know, there's no way there's not fucking aliens. It's like... Exactly. It's like, so my brother believes in
I think God is an alien.
I think so too. My brother believes in deitism, so it's like God kind of created everything, and then he just, like, left it for, like, society to kind of, like, you know, just do its own thing. But I also believe, like... We have so much space that's so unexplored. Like, there's literally a galaxy that's like 20,000 miles away. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't know what's on other planets. We don't know what's on Jupiter. We don't know what's on Neptune. We don't know what's on Saturn.
Totally.
Like, nobody fucking knows. I think one time when I was living in Maui for like during the summer, like 3 months, I literally was sitting outside. Because in Hawaii, you can literally see the entire Milky Way. So if you're just sitting out, like, you can see the entire sky because there's no light pollution. Mm-hmm. So you can see the entire Milky Way. And I remember one time I saw this bright-ass, like, yellow thing in the sky. And I was like, what the fuck is that? So I was watching it. And all of a sudden, it just sped off. And everyone's like, no, it's just an airplane. I was like, there's no way that's a fucking airplane. Because an airplane doesn't fucking travel, like, super fast like that, you know?
True.
So I was like, there is no way. That was definitely a UFO. And I know there's definitely been people, like, I can't remember their fucking names, but it's like definitely an older couple, like in the 50s. They like got abducted. I think they were out one night. They were hiking or something.
Oh, I know.
They got abducted by aliens. And then they came back 5 months later. And then I saw that. Yeah. Dude. So I saw that. And then I saw on TikTok one time, this girl was telling her story of like these aliens that she came in contact with. And she said that one night, her and her friend in high school were sitting out on her balcony, and she remembers seeing this weird thing in the sky, like, coming towards her. And literally, from that point on, she blacked out. Her and her friend both blacked out, like, literally, and she said that she was dreaming, but she didn't know if it was a dream or if it was a reality. She said that she saw the fucking aliens, like, just this huge, like, long, like, you know, like, stick figure, like, big old head, like long ass fucking arms, like totally like doing experiments on her friend that she was with. They blacked out for 12 hours, like 12 or 14 hours straight. And they woke up, they were in the same positions that they were in. And both of them were like, what the hell just happened? Like, I don't know what the fuck happened. There's definitely so much out in the universe that's so undiscovered. Like, even in the fucking ocean. Like, what? There's like 50% of the ocean that we have not discovered.
Oh, it's like 50, 75? 70 or 80. Yeah, it's
70 or 80% of the ocean. Like, there's no way. What if the fucking aliens are down there?
No, they are.
I actually saw a really cool theory.
Are down there?
I saw a really cool thing on Reddit recently. So not cool, but like interesting. So like, I don't know if you guys remember like recently in the last like year or so, there's been a lot of videos that like the government has released of UFOs. Like there was a whole Pentagon video of like the fighter pilots that saw UFOs.
Ever since Trump had become president, everyone started fucking releasing those things like, aliens are fucking real.
But one of the last things they did was they passed a law saying that like the government had to disclose everything they know about UFOs by like June of this year. Like that was part of like the last spending bill or something. Anyways, I saw this post on Reddit, which like, take it for what you will, that doesn't really mean much, but it was still interesting. Basically, this post on Reddit from 7 years ago, this dude basically made this gnarly post saying he worked for the NOAA, which is like the National Ocean Association, the people in the US government that monitor like the ocean, like the buoys and like tides and all that. Okay. This guy worked in the NOAA, and he went on Reddit on this thread about like, what do you know about your job that you can't tell people? And he made this post 7 years ago about how basically in working in NOAA, essentially aliens that we see and the UFOs that we see aren't actually from space. They're from very deep in the ocean. Yeah. They're basically Atlanteans. They're basically like what you hear of as like Atlantis and all that shit. They're an intelligent species that lives in our ocean. And essentially they're getting really upset at the way that we are treating the planet. The fact that like we're killing the planet is starting to affect them. And so they're willing to come forward in order to help us, help ourselves, and help them, because we all live on this shit together and they can't really ignore us anymore. And basically, the trippy part was in this post from 7 years ago, this guy basically said, in July of 2021, and this was posted again, this was posted in like 2015 or something, like a long time ago. In July of 2021, this species is going to make themselves known to the general public, and negotiations will begin to help work with them in fixing our planet. And at the time, everyone was like, yeah, whatever, fuck you, you're crazy. But the timing on that was kind of weird because this same Reddit account has posted things relating to the NOAA before and after that. Mundane things like, oh, the tides, this and that, like tsunami, this and that. Just basic shit, not interesting, besides this one post. But then, that last spending bill that passed had that clause that's like, everything the US government knows about aliens must be disclosed within like 180 days. And 180 days from that bill being passed is June of 2021 this year. Which would mean that if that's all disclosed by then, in July, that would be prime time for them to actually make things public. Which is just super weird. And like people have hypothesized that before, that aliens are actually here in the water and not in space.
No, I totally agree.
It's totally possible. We don't actually have aliens from another planet. We just have another intelligent species in our ocean that actively avoids us. Which would be why we only explore 80%, because the powers that be know that we can't explore more than that without causing conflict. Which is crazy to me. And it's crazy in general, but it's fun to think about.
So when I was like 13, 14, like even when I was younger, I was really obsessed with fucking mermaids. So when I was like 13, 14, I look up like real mermaids, like, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I'd come across these videos on YouTube that people would just find these like mermaid looking things like washed up on shores.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not even kidding, they would look like aliens. I'm gonna look it up right now. Because
dude, the Montauk Monster. You guys seen the Montauk Monster? Mm-hmm. Dude, MONTAUK, Montauk Monster. Look that shit up. It's this weird fucking thing that washed up in like Montauk. I think it's in New York. And it looks like a cross between like a dog and like a pig and a turtle. Yeah, dude,
does that
shit
not look
like
like
that.
A fucking
I've
alien?
seen shit like that.
Does that not look like an alien?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
It's like exactly what they talk about, dude.
No.
Like shit like that washes up and people are like, what in the fuck, dude?
That looks like a human.
No.
Like shit like that washes. No, I've seen shit like that before, dude.
No.
How the fuck?
Like,
that's
insane.
fake, obviously.
Yeah, it's fake,
but like,
but some of those are like kind of fucking weird.
If you go on YouTube, the fucking little girl.
Some girl dressed as a mermaid.
If you go on YouTube and you literally look up like mermaids dead found on a beach, like you'll find some and they look like fucking aliens.
Oh yeah, it's like the same
aliens.
description as like the grays that people describe and shit. Like that shit
fucking
blows
weird.
My mind.
It is so weird.
No, there's something. There's something, you know.
There's so
I don't know if it's extraterrestrial or interdimensional
world.
or in the ocean, but there's something for sure. Like 100%.
We will find out more, hopefully, as this year goes on. I say we end it here. We've been going for seconds.
Definitely true.
Okay, who reads more between you two? Who reads more?
I read a lot, but not like books. Like I read a lot of articles. I'll read a lot of like shit online. I don't really read books.
I used to read a lot in high school.
I'll read a book occasionally.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna do this every time, but because I just finished this, and you guys are the first podcast since I finished this.
Yeah.
I just have to give it away. Like,
I will read the shit. You hand me something called the S files that is bound in laminate. I guarantee I will read the fuck out of this, dude. Okay. What is this?
I made it.
Dude, I'm gonna read it. Is it a script? Is it like a screenplay? What is it?
No. It's a magazine.
I'm gonna read the shit out of it.
Here's instructions. Don't read, like, literally on the first page it says do not read more than one story per day. It's not that type of thing where you
needs to be absorbed.
It's 32 pages. You just don't go, like, it's...
Yeah.
It's a project I've been working on for a couple years, on and off.
I'm gonna read the fuck out of it.
And it's super mellow, nothing too crazy, and you just kind of it's kind of chill. It's me kind of talking to you in an interesting way.
I'm gonna read the first one tonight.
Read the first one tonight. Take a break. Take a day or two break. Take a week break. I don't fucking care, but literally just like pace yourself throughout it. Read a little bit here and there. If you like it, pass it along to Grace.
Yes, I plan to.
If you don't,
I will pass it along to Grace.
If you don't like it, burn it.
I will pass it along to Grace regardless, dude.
Please,
this looks like it ought to be shared as fuck.
No, I
am excited.
Yeah,
I'll
fucking read it.
This is a manuscript. I will return this to you. This is this is the sacred text.
That's the funny thing,
dude.
I don't want this back. If you
have multiple copies, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you like it, pass it along to Grace. Grace, if you like it, give it to someone else who you think you would like it. You guys are gonna learn about me and how my brain works through it.
I'm excited.
Like I said,
thank you for the honor.
Thank
you for the honor, dude. I am excited.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm not gonna do this every time.
It's
just because I literally just finished this yesterday.
I'm fucking excited.
Oh my
god.
It's
like you guys are the first podcast I've done since then. Boom.
I feel blessed to know it, dude. I will spread this to the world.
Dude, let me
we will spread this to the world,
guys,
dude.
I appreciate you guys.
Oh my god, thank you.
Of course,
I appreciate
it was so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We fucking love it.
Let me take y'all's picture real fast if that's chill.
Absolutely, dude.
Because it is, it's a little 2 a.m. little flex.